comes down to this.
Stockport County Live on Imagine Radio with mydigitalaccounts.com, the smart accountant for the digital age, specialising in online accounts and tax returns. Call us today on 0161 925 6162 for a friendly chat about your accounting needs, or visit at mydigitalaccounts.com.
Well, welcome back to Stockport County Live. Welcome back to Dagenham. We are in London as Stockport County look to get back to winning ways, look to arrest the slump for who My Generation has just started playing around as a proper anthem down these parts. My name's Chris Ridgway. His name's John Kieran. It's time for the team news.
2020's yet to get started for Stockport County amidst all the excitement off the pitch surrounding Mark Stott's takeover. On the pitch, the Hatters are struggling. Saturday's 2-0 defeat at home to Dover extended County's winless run to 8 games, their longest run without a victory since the season started. As a result, the Hatters have slipped to 12, 4 points adrift of the playoffs, but probably the most worrying statistic of all for manager Jim Gannon, County haven't scored a goal in 4 games. Jim makes 3 changes today. In midfield, no Paul Turnbull. He's starting a 3-match ban following his red card last weekend, so that means there's a debut for exciting new signing Lois Maynard, a serial promotion winner with Salford City. The midfielder has signed a 2.5-year contract at Edgeley Park. Up front, there's a recall for Niall Bell. Jordan Archer is injured, so not available today. And Conor DeMayo's recall from Curzon Ashton sees the mercurial midfielder start in place of Liam McAlinden, who drops to the bench. No Tyler Garrett, he's joined Wrexham on loan till the end of the season. County with a 3-4-1-2 formation. Dagenham and Redbridge also play with a back 3, so it means a change in formation for the Hatters. Ben Hinchliffe in goal, back 3 of Dan Cowan, Ash Palmer, who's got the captain's armband, and Festus Arthur. Midfield quartet, right to left, Adam Thomas as a right wing back, Jordan Keane and Lois Maynard in the middle, with Eddie Clark as the left wing back, and Conor DeMayo has a free role behind a front 2 today of Niall Bell and Danny Lloyd. The subs for the Hatters: Ian Ormson the keeper, Sam Walker, Ben Jackson, Liam McAlinden and Sam Minihan. Jordan Downing has travelled but is not included in the 16. Well, what about the home side? A disastrous run of results saw Dagenham and Redbridge part company with Peter Taylor, the former England caretaker manager, at the end of 2019. Taylor given the sack for Christmas after losing 9 of his final 11 games in charge. The former Macclesfield Town boss Daryl McMahon has arrived at Victoria Road, having left the League 2 crisis club, and he's really steadied the ship. Under his guidance and with a couple of astute loan signings, Daggers have kept clear of the drop zone. They're unbeaten in the league in 2020, and whilst County haven't scored for 6.5 hours, the Daggers haven't conceded in almost 6 hours. If you're looking for omens, though, well, County have played the Daggers 3 times previously and won every time with a 1-0 scoreline, including Niall Bell's late winner against Dagenham and Redbridge at Edgeley Park back in November. And we're not expecting any red cards this afternoon. These 2 sides are 1 and 2 in the Fair Play League. So the Daggers line up, same formation as County, 3-4-1-2. Elliot Justin in goal, a back 3 of Manny Onorisa, Kenny Clark the skipper and Luke Kroll, a midfield quartet of Andrew Eleftheriou, Matt Robinson, Mitch Brundle and Liam Gordon on the left, and Sam Deering, he's the midfield playmaker, the man who makes them tick, playing in the hole behind a front 2, both on loan, of Ben House and Alex Reid. Substitutes this afternoon: goalkeeper Josh Strizovic alongside striker Chike Candy, returning striker Angelo Balanta, top scorer with 7 goals this season, but he's been out injured for a good few weeks. Harry Phipps is on the bench, and so is new signing Miles Weston. He arrived yesterday from Ebbsfleet. He scored 4 goals in his last 7 outings for the Fleet. The former Arsenal man is on the bench for Daggers today. You won't miss a kick. Full live and exclusive commentary from the National League here at Victoria Road. It is Dagenham and Redbridge against Stockport County in association with mydigitalaccounts.com. We're on the World Wide Web for subscribers to County Player. Just visit stockportcounty.com for details, and we're on your official county station. This is Imagine.
John Kieran, thank you very much. It is County against the Daggers today. I should say, while he was going through the teams there, I was giving daggers to Sam Byrne, who was wobbling his legs all the way through that, making the whole press box rock. John Kieran, let's go down today's County lineup. No place for Liam McAlinden, no place for Ben Jackson. Are you surprised at either of those?
I mean, the surprise is the emergence again, the return and the re-emergence of Conor DeMeo, I suppose. So Liam McAlinden probably more surprised than anybody. Disappointed for him that he's not got the nod, but Conor DeMeo. He's obviously been pulling up trees for Curzon Ashton. It's a big afternoon for him today, though. He's got to impress. Looking down,
Dan Cowan, I like Dan. He's a good player, but it's still, I'm still finding myself a little surprised that Sam Minihan isn't in the team, should I say, ahead of Dan Cowan. Dan has been playing well though lately. Good attacking threat going forward. He's good cross on him. Defensively, he's very capable. He's fit. He's strong. Is there reason for me to be surprised at Sam Minihan being left out at his expense, or is Dan just in better form at the moment?
No, I'm not surprised, because we're playing a back three, so you wouldn't play Sam Minihan in there anyway. So Dan Cowan, the more logical fit there, 6'2", alongside Ash Palmer, 6'2", Festus Arthur, probably similar height as well, isn't he? So it's a big, powerful back three for County today. Sam Minihan, he wouldn't fit in that slot. Arguably, he might have ousted Adam Thomas as a right wing back, I suppose, but Adam Thomas, Mr. Consistent, gets the nod.
Niall Bell comes in up front. We understand Jordan Archer a little bit of a knock or a strain or something from last week. Is this an opportunity for Niall Bell? When he came on at the weekend, he looked a much better player. If we're going to cut straight to it, he looked. He gave County a lot more attacking threat. He looked like he had a bit of composure about him. Okay, no goal to his name, which is always what you're going to judge a striker on, but he did lead the line a lot better. Can he now say to the gaffer, let me show you what I can do? You brought Jordan Archer in, but he's got to believe he's a better player. He's a striker. You've got to have confidence. He's got to believe he's a better player. Has now he got to show it?
Well, I think for him now, it's an opportunity in the front too, and I'm sure he'd be delighted about that. He's worked hard, I think, as a lone striker, but, I know he doesn't like the expression, but, he's young, he's raw, he's learning the game, but I think having Danny Lloyd in and around that area today, I think is going to give him a massive lift, because Danny Lloyd hopefully has got that licence to go either side of Niall. Conor DeMeo playing in the hole just behind. I think it's an exciting front three for me, Chris, today. DeMeo, Lloyd and Bell. There won't be many better front threes anywhere in the National League this afternoon, so that's... For me, Niall Bell's got a great opportunity to impress today with a bit more support than maybe he's had in the last few weeks when County have struggled for goals.
Does it excite you, Conor DeMeo coming in? We know what Conor's strengths are. We know that he's got a great turn on him. He's got a great pass. He's got an eye for unlocking, if you like, for unlocking defences. Does it excite you that Danny Lloyd's playing today? Danny Lloyd, who we know everything he's about, he's going to run himself into the ground. He just runs and runs and runs and runs. If you can get the ball to Conor DeMeo to just unlock the defence, find that through ball, him and Danny Lloyd potentially could be, like you say, it's an exciting front three. They're the explosive two for me.
Well, Danny Lloyd is a Football League player. Conor DeMeo should be a Football League player. So, if you're asking for good support for Niall Bell this afternoon, he couldn't ask for better. Danny, we know all about his capabilities, and yet to get off the mark since coming back. But if there was any fears that Danny might be a little bit ring rusty, having not really featured for Salford in the last few games, those fears have evaporated really over the last two games, and he's a naturally fit lad anyway. He's worked his socks off in terms of keeping himself at tip-top condition, and so no real worries about him. Conor DeMeo's been playing games regularly, and it was interesting to hear Jim say to you that he's done everything I've asked of him. I thought that was a really telling praise. So Conor's been working hard. He's been doing a job for Curzon Ashton. He's got his opportunity here today.
Dagenham and Redbridge. I mean, I was saying to Dan Powell before, I think it's a little bit past the new manager bounce, if you like. That's usually 2 or 3 games, but the new manager's come in. They've arrested a decline in form. They are now fighting to get away from that relegation zone. Don't let the league table fool you. This is a dangerous one for County today.
Darryl McMahon's a good manager. He's come in to replace Peter Taylor. He's switched to a 3-4-1-2 formation, and what a difference it's made. All right, they've only won 1 of their last 11, but they haven't been beaten at all in 2020. They've got a 0-0 draw at Wrexham at the weekend. They've drawn 4 of their last 6, 3 successive clean sheets, and they've changed their style of play completely. They're high tempo, they press high up the pitch, they get in the faces of the opposition, they make it very difficult for the opposing team to play out. I've been watching a lot of videos of them since they've made that change, and OK, look, they're struggling for goals still a little bit, but they stopped other teams from scoring. That's the important thing. The clean sheets have started to come. It's nearly 6 hours since they last conceded a goal, so this is a good side, make no mistake about that. And two very astute loan signings up top. I think Ben House is on loan from Reading's under-23s. Alex Reid alongside him on loan from Stevenage, having done well at Ebbsfleet earlier in the campaign. So he looks a good player. He ended last season on loan at Files, and of course they were at Wembley in the playoff final where they lost to Salford City but won the FA Trophy. So he's a player with a little bit of pedigree. He's scored a couple of goals already since coming in from Stevenage. So, you know, players dropping down from a higher level to come and play for Dagenham and Redbridge and doing a good job for them. So he's got them organised. I think that's all you could ask, and I'm expecting a very different Dagenham and Redbridge to the one that County beat back in November.
I was speaking to Jim Gannon this week. We spoke about the playoffs, and I asked him in the dressing room, on the training ground, does anyone really mention the playoffs? Does anyone talk about if we can win this one and win the next one, then we're so many points clear or behind or whatever? Do those conversations happen? Because obviously that's all the fans are talking about. That's take over his side, if you like. It's all about the playoffs. It's all about how close we are to them, etc., etc. Jim said, no, not really. They don't talk about that. But do you think it must play on the minds a little bit? Maybe they're not vocal about it, but they've got to have an eye on the league table, haven't they?
They have to, but the concern, I suppose, is, you know, we've seen us lose ground now to even teams like Dover Athletic, with the greatest of respect to them. I didn't expect them to be challenging for the playoffs, but they're in a better position than we are at the moment to do that. So, we've allowed other teams to overtake us and to keep pace with us. So we need to go on a run now. We need to get back to the kind of form we were in October, November, really, and have that kind of a run, the kind of form that produced that terrific win at Fylde over Christmas. Those are the kind of results we need to start putting together now. So it's a big few weeks for Stockport County. They need, look, it doesn't take you much to get back in that frame. 2 or 3 wins and we could probably be up there. But as I say, in previous weeks when we've been 8th, we've only been a point outside, so you've always been there or thereabouts. But now, 4 points adrift. You need 2 wins just to get in there. But other teams are picking up wins as well, so it's going to be a tall order. But we need to go on a run, and it needs to start today.
We are just awaiting the players to come out. The tunnel has been opened. The Guard of Honour and the mascots are all there waving the flags. I'm anticipating them at any moment, John. How does the game start today? If you're Jim Gannon, what do you say to the play? Do you try and stabilise and not let Dagenham play the football? Just make sure you settle in first? Or do you think, run at them, 100 miles an hour? We've got players like Conor DeMeo, we've got players like Danny Lloyd, we've got players like Lois Maynard in there. Let's just go out and let's really have a go at them.
The thing, I think it's going to be I know these two are top of the fair play league, but I think it could well be a blistering start to this game. As I say, having watched the videos of these, the Daggers are a high-tempo side. They'll be right in the faces of County from minute one. Daryl McMahon will have them fired up under there. He's a fiery Irish character himself, and 2 Irishmen in the dugouts today. It's going to be a really interesting contest, but I think County have just got to try and be careful with the ball today. They'll be pressing high to try and force errors. They won't be letting us have time on the ball to play out from the back, and it could be an explosive start to this one.
Well, it's an explosive start we anticipate. It's one we hope for. Would it surprise you, John, if I said the Stockport County fans have travelled in numbers and we can see them all taking over that way stand?
Yeah, it's interesting. All the way down at various stages of our journey today, I've seen flashes of blue and white at various stations and various tube stations and various roads around here. The pub was rammed across the road with Stockport County supporters. And, you're talking about a team that hasn't won a game in 2020, that hasn't scored a goal for 6.5 hours. And look at that following over there. It's absolutely magnificent. Once again, Chris, there's got to be 200 to 300 in there.
Yeah, there has. I can tell you, I should give a mention actually to everyone who attended the funeral of Lewis Holland yesterday, and there was a few people there saying to me that they're making the trip down today. Listen, sometimes it's not about football. It was a terrific service for Lewis yesterday, but there are a big turnout today, and it'd be rude not to mention them. Stockport County do walk out now onto the pitch. That's the Dagenham and Redbridge, a rather bizarre entrance theme. I'm just trying to figure out what it is in my head. But Dagenham and Redbridge, white shirts, red shorts, blue socks. County in the green and black strip. The goalkeepers all in yellow. John Kieran, This is a big game.
Easy
for
mistake to make.
I did get confused this is a big game today.
Massive game for County, and a win is needed today. But I tell you what, looking at the lads' body language-wise, looks really positive, looks upbeat. I'm pleased to see that. The warm-up looked good, everything seemed to go well. And Jim was saying, talking to you about training on Tuesday, he said like they were 10v10. It was probably the best session for months, he said. So let's hope that translates into a performance and a result today.
Look at the big dog as well that's come out. The mascot, Digger. He's waving around. He's a big old fella. One thing that I have noticed, speaking of big old fellas, Lois Maynard. I always have a look at the physical capabilities of both sides, and they look fairly similar. There's a few big guys and a few short guys in both squads today. Lois Maynard, he's a big fella in the middle of the park, isn't he? Alongside Jordan Keane. Paul Turnbull, Sam Walker, they're not as big as Jordan Keane. Lois Maynard, I think I'm right in saying he's actually a little bit bigger.
Well, Niall Bell as well, coming back, he gives you that physical presence up front, and we've seen him really bully defenders, but I'm just so pleased he's got a bit more support today, because up against what is a very powerful back three, they play very narrow as well, the Daggers, with Manny Onorisa, Kenny Clark and Luke Kroll. They'll be very narrow today, and they'll make it hard for a lone striker. So the fact that he's got Danny around him, I think, is important today, and Conor DeMeo in the hole making those runs from deep.
Sam Walker just walking down in front of us. He'd love the chance to get on the pitch today. I'm looking around at the squad, though. It's going to be difficult, I think, for fringe players. Fringe players is probably a little harsh, really, when you think of what the likes of Sam Walker and even now Paul Turnbull with Lois Maynard coming in. But the task to get back into the squad now is quite a big one.
Feel sorry for him as well, because he's on 97 appearances for the club, so he's tantalising close to making the ton. But it's I don't know. As long as he's there or thereabouts and he's in the squad, he'll be able to make that before the season finishes. Down below us, Sam Minihan gives us the thumbs up as well. Interested spectator as well, the Boreham Wood managers here today. Luke Garrard's sitting just 3 rows in front of us. They play the Daggers at the end of next month, so he's got the opportunity to not travel too far to take in a game here this afternoon between Dagenham and Redbridge and Stockport County. The Daggers, for all their improvement, Chris, it is just 1 win in 11 for them. So, and I know a lot of that takes in the Peter Taylor and caretaker regimes as well. Yeah. But they're a side that, you know, they've still got a bit of work to do to get out of trouble.
They have. I think it was a thumb Sam Minihan flashed to us when he walked past. But yeah, no, you're right. The important thing from a Dagenham and Redbridge side is they've arrested that decline. You know, like you said before, okay, they've not got a load of wins to show for it, but they've stopped the losses, and that is arguably that's the first step, isn't it?
It's 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon, and where else would you rather be listening to Imagine in association with mydigitalaccounts.com for live coverage of Dagenham and Redbridge against Stockport County. And as the winless weeks have ticked by, the games have got more and more important, and that was interesting. Conor DeMeo straight away charging down the ball from Luke Kroll, putting pressure on the left-sided centre-half, and County it is who are in the faces of the opposition in the early stages of this one. But Dan Cowan just overrunning the ball. It's clipped away by Mitch Brundle. They're a really solid pair, Brundle and Robinson, in the middle of the park for the Daggers, who want to throw in now deep in County territory. Down the left-hand side, Liam Gordon, a player who's come through the ranks, is going to leave this one for Brundle to take, who does have a long throw. He's a midfield player who's got 5 goals already this season, 8 goals last season. Very useful former Dover athletic man. Going to hurl it in from this left side. What a throw, what a glancing header, and it's cleared by Festus Arthur. Superb flick by Ben House on the near post. Jim Gann will be disappointed nobody cut that out, but it could have been worse. Festus Arthur was alert to the second ball, but here's House again, dispossessed by Lois Maynard, tracking back. Jordan Keane, he's lost possession to House, who prods it through the gap, looking for the runner Reed, but it's his opposite number, Festus Arthur, able to shepherd it back to Ben Hinchliffe, who immediately fires it towards Danny Lloyd, comfortably cleared by Manny Onorisa, the former Rotherham man, nods it away. In midfield, Brundle out to the left. Gordon has to check his run and retreat into the County half. It's picked up by Luke Kroll. Kroll on the halfway line. That's a very good ball under pressure to find Robinson. Robinson can flick it out to the right wing. What a ball from Robinson to Eleftherio on the right. His cross is blocked by Festus Arthur, cleared by the left-sided Eddie Clark, who's playing as a left wing-back today. Maynard steals. Great surging run from Maynard. Referee plays the advantage as Lloyd picks up the ball on the left side. He's only got Niall Bell in the box. He's trying to pick him out. It's half cleared by the defender, and then Luke Kroll can finish the job. Kenny Clark it was with the initial touch. County have it again though with Keane. Down the right wing is Adam Thomas. Thomas now with a chance to cross. It takes a deflection. I told it would be a really blistering start to this game. Not been able to take a breath yet. County have a corner.
Lois Maynard showing great feet. He was actually upended. It was a foul. It was good advantage there from the referee. And as Danny Lloyd was released, you just saw that characteristic figure of him running down the wing. He's just got the burners on already. It's what you want to see from Danny Lloyd. Is him running at defenders. They don't like it.
2.5 minutes gone. I don't think Chris had a chance to get a word in the game so far. It's been that good a start. Here's Lloyd's corner towards the near post. Comes off the chest of the defender. Keane's gone down very heavily as the ball's recycled by Lloyd. Headed down by Palmer, but then volleyed away by Honorisa on the far post. Keane picks himself up. I think he's okay. I think he hurt his arm as he landed, and he's moving very awkwardly, that right arm. But now the break's on at the other end for the Daggers. Chance for the shot from the edge of the box. Comes in from Alex Reid. It's well blocked by Dan Cowan. Super defending by Cowan. Just for a moment, Dan Cowan found himself 1v2 as Di Maio misses his challenge, allows Gordon to come in from the left-hand side. Oh, it's a good tackle from Adam Thomas. Now it's a corner at the other end. You can't take your eyes off it, Chris.
You can't. One thing I can't take my eyes off is Jordan Keane, who, again, it looks like he's dislocated something. He's
hurt his right
He's had his
forearm,
elbow or shoulder, isn't it? It's something. His arms, he's keeping it very, very straight.
Yeah,
and almost
clutching his right forearm.
Yeah, he's hurt himself there as Jordan.
It is a corner to defend now. And they're decent on set pieces, the Daggers. So County with some work to do as Eleftherio prepares the right-footed in-swinger from here. What can they produce this time? Near post, a little flick on that near post. Adam Thomas got something on it. Danny Lloyd plays it out towards Di Maio. Di Maio needed a shout and it never came. And when the cross comes in, County just about survives. Sam Deering trying to make something of it. Maynard picks up the pieces. Oh, a little... He turned his head one way and then played the ball forward through everybody. But Niall Bell unable to hold on to it. Dan Cowan gives it back to Bell again, though. He goes down in a heap on the halfway line. It's a County throw on this near side, the Hatters' right wing. Maynard's made a very good start, hasn't he?
He's very, very impressive just to watch, both on the ball and off it. You can tell that the players have taken to him so quickly. He obviously has made a good impression in training. They trust him. They give him the ball, and like I say, sending defenders one way and then a little look the other way pass. I mean, you don't expect that at this level of football.
No, you really don't. Dan Cowan with the throw. I mean, I do it in five-a-side, Chris, you know.
By accident, yeah.
Then pretend I meant to do that. Maynard, aerial battle in midfield. He lets it run, though. He knew Festus Arthur was just behind him. Glancing header from Bell, nobody to benefit. Cleared by Kroll down this near side. Headed straight back by Cowan. Comes off the head of the midfielder, Brundle. Di Maio, great work from Di Maio as he picks the pocket of the midfielder there. Couldn't quite thread it through to Danny Lloyd, but he's won a throw-in. Well, that was that creativity you were talking about from Di Maio.
Yeah, lovely little through ball. Just one more thing on Jordan Keane, John. It wouldn't surprise. He keeps looking at the bench. I wonder if this is an ongoing problem with him now. But
he landed so awkwardly, didn't he? He's certainly jarred that right forearm and has got an issue. County on the ball, right wing. Across from Dan Cowan is blocked. It's another County throw. He seems keen to stay out there, Keane. And he's just touched the ball back to Cowan. He'll cross from the right and win another corner for County in the early stages of this game. 6 minutes gone here on Imagine in association with mydigitalaccounts.com. Still 0-0. County's second corner of the day. And another chance for Danny Lloyd to whip the ball in as Deering is coming over to take off the undershirt. It has been that frantic a start. He's overheated as the corner comes in, headed away by the centre half. It's a bizarre time to change your shirt, isn't it, when you're defending a corner?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that could have waited. That's one of the strangest things I've ever seen in football. Why would you change your shirt when you're defending a corner?
To be fair, he's one of the smaller players on the pitch, but still, yeah, you are right. Not something I would have guessed. It's interesting to see the movement though of those County players as they're just the little circles to try and throw the Dagenham Redbridge players out of sync. It's really interesting at the moment.
County throw, right-hand side. Cowan to take. DeMeo the first to show. It's gone beyond him into the penalty area towards Bell. It's only half cleared. Keane with the half volley from the edge of the box. Well blocked, though, by Matt Robinson. Cowan picks up the pieces. Right flank is Adam Thomas. His cross blocked by Luke Kroll. Throw into the Hatters again down that right touchline.
You'd have to say it's an impressive start from County, but you wouldn't be too unhappy if you were Dagenham Redbridge. It has been such a fast-paced opening. Both teams will feel that they're just shading this at the moment. Yeah,
it's a quick-fire start to the game, but no goals as yet. Cowan down the right wing, taking on the defender. He's been out-muscled this time by Liam Gordon. It's a goal kick to the Daggers. A chance to draw breath.
Just about. Stockport County opening really well. Do you know one person that's impressed me so far, John, is Dan Cowan. For all the speak before the game, he's holding his shape well in that back three, but at the same time, he's unlocking balls going forward. His long balls are finding the feet or the chest of the players are intended to, and as frustrating as long balls can be, when they work, they do look quite good, and his are working today.
Tell you what, that was a fantastic forward pass from Eddie Clark. He drilled that just maybe 3 inches above the grass. A long ball towards centre forward Bell, who couldn't hold on to it, but it's a very clever pass from Eddie Clark, who's now on the left wing. County have it with DeMeo flicking it forward. Clark, Lloyd, strong challenge on Lloyd. The ball goes out. County throw, far side. It was a hefty challenge from Robinson, which is not unexpected, but he's a very tough, aggressive holding midfielder alongside Brundle there. It's a throw into the Hatters. Clark back to Festus Arthur. Line wasn't the best of balls to Jordan Keane. He couldn't hold on to it. Throw in now to the Daggers, and they've launched it forward very quickly to Alex Reid, the man on loan from Stevenage. Poor header from Reid though. Maynard again, great feet from Maynard. DeMeo. This is a very different County to last weekend against Dover. Lloyd, left flank, crosses towards Bell, who attacks the ball on the near post. The goalkeeper gets there just ahead of him and then clears upfield. I think there was disguise. It's been intercepted by Festus Arthur. It was a low ball from the keeper. County straight back on the front foot. Lloyd on the left wing, taking on the fullback Eleftheriou. His cross is deep towards Adam Thomas on the opposite side. Gordon gets in first, puts it out for another County throw.
We spoke about the potential of Danny Lloyd floating around that front area. He's stuck to his left side quite well, but Conor DeMeo, John, has been everywhere, defending right wing, left wing, playing the number 10 role, the ball's through. I mean, we're only 10 minutes into the game, and he's moving it round so well. He's keen to make an impression, this Conor.
Great turn from DeMeo, finding Keane, back out to the wing again for Cowan to cross, blocked again by the defender on this near side. And it's going to be another County throw-in as the Hatters make steady progress down this right flank again. Everything is in the Daggers' half at the moment. Across from Cowan, the near post. Bell again trying to get a touch on it, but the goalkeeper alert to the danger. Elliot Justin, 3 successive clean sheets for the former Luton man. Player of the year last season for Dagenham and Redbridge. Carries the ball to the edge of his area, the 29-year-old, and then fires it upfield. Festus Arthur's under it. Does well against Reid, the centre forward. Keane helps it on towards Niall Bell. Bell backing into Clark. Too aggressive. In fact, offside, says the linesman. He'd come from an offside position. So a free kick to Dagenham and Redbridge. Taken by Justin, the goalkeeper. Headed away by Ash Palmer. Back towards the halfway line. DeMeo beaten to it this time by Brundle. Fires it upfield to Reid. It's again a very good defensive header by Ash Palmer. Very strong again from Dan Cowan, but Reid reacts well, keeps it in play, and he's won a corner for his team. Good work from Alex Reid, the centre forward.
Yeah, he's battled well. Ash Palmer thought he'd done enough at first. Dan Cowan had to mop it up. But Reid, he's shown strength, but at the same time, low centre of gravity, tenacity, just to get under Dan Cowan really and move his body nicely around him and win the corner. It's good play.
Reid scored 2 goals in a 2-0 win over Notts County on his debut last month. It's a corner to be taken by the playmaker Deering. Takes all the set pieces, Sam Deering, attacking midfielder, former Chelsea trainee. Right-footed this time, near post, whipped it in at pace, headed away by Adam Thomas. And then volleyed clear by DeMeo up to the halfway line, where Eleftheriou will recycle it for the home side. Plays it down the line to Robinson. Robinson, everything to his left. That's a clever ball into the box. Shot on the turn. Well saved by Ben Hinchliffe. First shot of the game. Fired in hard and low by Ben House, the big centre forward. And Hinchliffe saves with his left boot and puts it out for a corner.
Yeah, it's excellent play, that, from Dagenham. County had to show good, strong defensive organisation. Adam Thomas, a good get it away from the near post, but Dagenham recycled the ball well. I was actually surprised how the big man kept his composure, kept the ball down low. Sometimes the rush of blood to the head and you see those blazed over, but he's kept it on target, and Ben Hinchliffe has reacted well there.
Ben Hinchliffe denies Ben House. The home side back on the ball with the lively playmaker Deering. Great feet from Deering, turns it back to the edge of the area. Robinson will try and curl this into the far post. Well, when it set off, you knew what he was trying to do, but it never quite curled enough. Wide of the upright, and it stays. Dagenham and Redbridge 0, Stockport County 0, here on Imagine, in association with mydigitalaccounts.com.
Very clever little corner, that, the way they've done the short corner, then played it inside back towards the touchline. Quite a smart move, that. Deering, he's the player that was taking his shirt off a moment ago. Defensively, it doesn't have too much about him, but going forward, I think he could be a little thorn today. He's definitely one to keep an eye on.
County haven't played here since February of 2008. Leon McSweeney scoring the only goal of the game that day. County's promotion season, of course. Here's Adam Thomas in the central area this time. Plays it out to Dan Cowan, who's a little isolated. And he's had his pocket picked by House, but he's recovered well to make that challenge and puts it out for a throw-in on the near side. No panic.
I like that. Lois Maynard, he just read the danger as well. And although Dan Cowan did recover, Maynard was there just waiting, just in case Dan was wriggled away from. He wasn't going to get past both of them. And I like that. It's what Jim Gannon calls smelling danger, I think. And he's just displayed it really well there. I think Jim will be happy with what he's seen from his new signing today.
County, they're almost lopsided, aren't they, in their attack, because Danny Lloyd, as you said earlier, Chris, although he's playing in a front two with Niall Bell, he's hugging that left-hand side. Old habits die hard, of course, and it means that Adam Thomas is having to push a lot further forward from that right wing-back position than perhaps Eddie Clark is doing on the other side. So County slightly lopsided today as the clearance from Hinchliffe goes into touch on that left-hand touchline. Throw in to the Daggers. Almost quarter of an hour gone. It remains 0-0.
Some 0-0s are different than others, aren't they, John? The amount of times we've seen really dull, boring games. This one, okay, it's 0-0, 15 minutes in. It's not too unusual, but the game itself, there's been so much action already. You can't take your eyes off it.
Dagenham throw, right-hand side. Eleftheriou down the line, cleared by Festus Arthur. Left-sided centre-half in that back three. It's a good header, though, by Brundle. Back out to the wing for House, who turns it back to Eleftheriou. Whips it in. High, looping ball. The header from Brundle. It's kept alive on the far post by Deering, who says it came off a County man. But the referee and the linesman say goal kick to the Hatters. More and more County fans still coming into the ground behind that goal. It's swelling. That's a big stand away to our left-hand side here at the 6,000 capacity Victoria Road. And, as I say, there's got to be 200 or 300 County fans at least in there now.
I think one of the stewards was saying to us before the game that Dagenham only opened that stand if 350 tickets have been sold.
That's right. They don't normally segregate either, but they have done today because of the vast numbers travelling from Cheshire, which is great to see. Header away by Manny Onorisa, who's in today for the injured Gabby Zakwani. It's Gordon to help it on towards the halfway line. Oh, it's a poor header by Brundle under pressure from Maynard. But Ben House flicks it on for Reid. Reid out to the left for Gordon, who runs out of pitch, but the referee's brought play back for an earlier foul on Ben House. Now, for me, he's let the game go quite a long time there before bringing the play back.
Yeah, and both sets of players appeal for the free kick, so I'm quite surprised, although little argument back from Ash Palmer says he probably accepts it, but it's given Dagenham a good opportunity to swing the ball in. It's a good position for a cross.
Brundle Gets the ball from Deering, gives it back to the diminutive attacking midfielder, who plays it back out to the left wing for Brundle to cross. It's a dangerous ball in, comes off the head of Maynard and goes out for a corner to the Daggers on the far side.
All the county players are saying that came off a white shirt. It matters little the corner's given, but they played that quite well. I'm impressed with this Deering, this young, this diminutive you called him a moment ago, and it's a good word for him. He's noticeably smaller than the rest of them. He's quick, he's tricky, but he's also fast thinking, and I think he could be danger today.
Could be a short corner here. It's County with Danny Lloyd trying to prevent that happening. In the end, Gordon's got to whip it in at pace, and it's a very important touch from Dan Cowan to send it back over towards the opposite touchline. Throw in to the Daggers. Well, this has been a good spell for them in the last few minutes since winning the free kick, then the corner, now the throw-in down this left touchline.
Well, John, it'd be dramatic, but it wouldn't be untrue to say that was off the line from Dan Cowan. That was going in.
The throw hurled in, Palmer heads it clear, helped away by Adam Thomas, but it's going to come straight back. County with everyone back to defend the set piece. Kroll with a diagonal ball towards House. Festus Arthur, it's a towering header. Maynard, very good touch to find Danny Lloyd. The two of them were teammates, of course, at Salford earlier in the season. Lloyd gives it back to Maynard. Maynard just overran it there a little, and as a result has lost possession, but he's been caught there by the midfielder Robinson. And the referee, who was right up with play, saw that. Although Maynard didn't appeal, he's given the free kick to the towering midfielder for County.
I actually think he's got a bit lucky there. For all the good play we've seen from Lewis Maynard today, that was actually a sloppy touch that he let get away from him. And for overstretching for it, he's won himself a free kick. But you like to see him link up with Danny Lloyd like that. That's a really good sign.
Lloyd going the long way round, puts his cross into the box. Well, tried to, but it's actually gone out of the ground. It's he tried to whip it in, but completely miscues it, and it's gone behind the open terrace away to our right-hand side. But Lewis Maynard, the cousin of Marcus Rashford, of course, the England international, signed from Salford last week for a 2.5-year deal, and Jim Gannon's described him already as a next level signing, having won back-to-back promotions with Salford City, including that playoff final back in May. It's a really key signing for Stockport County, and a big statement of intent following so quickly after the arrival of Danny Lloyd from the same outfit. So the serial promotion winners moving in at Edgeley Park. County with some defending to do though at the moment. It is a free kick to Dagenham and Redbridge. 20 minutes gone here on Imagine in association with mydigitalaccounts.com. It remains 0-0. The shot-shy Hatters, Jim Gannon, if there's one disappointment, they haven't had a shot yet in this game. 20 minutes gone, yet to really ask any questions of the goalkeeper Elliot Justin away to our right. Ben Hinchliffe has had one save to make so far. Here's the in-swinging free kick. He'll pluck that out of the air nice and easily. And looking to fire it out to the left wing for Danny Lloyd, but his route there was initially blocked, but he's still picked him out. But he's offside. That's this is what Daryl McMahon's brought in, organisation, and you can see that they knew exactly what to do there as they stepped up.
Yeah, everyone gets excited. You see the Ben Hinchliffe, Danny Lloyd link up, we know where it's going, but it does seem Dagenham have done a little bit of homework there, and it was all too simple for them to catch Danny Lloyd offside, and straight away they can turn defence into attack.
I'm just looking across the ground here. Dan Powell, our cameraman, not able to film today because there's not enough room on the gantry, which is about the size of my conservatory. It's massive.
You've got a big conservatory.
You could easily get another cameraman in there, couldn't you? Not quite sure why Dan's not been able to film today, but
I believe they told him it was unsafe. Whether that's because...
Well, they're not bothered about him up there then, are they?
Dan himself is unsafe. He's a danger to others, I don't know.
Maynard, that's a very good header. De Mayo gives it back to Maynard. He was a little slow to do that, though. The ball still loose on the halfway line. Maynard losing out to Brundle this time. Deering helps it on, but Festus Arthur's there to steal for County. Plays it out to the left wing. It's gone ahead of Danny Lloyd, beyond Danny Lloyd, and out for a throw-in to the home side. Midway through the first half here at Victoria Road, it's been an absorbing 22 and a half minutes so far, but it's been a goalless 22 and a half as well, as the Hatters have found it difficult to get in behind this rather resilient Dagenham 3. Over 6 hours now since they last conceded a goal. It's nearly 7 hours since County last scored one.
Yeah, I remember saying this morning on the way down here, I think you wouldn't be at all surprised to hear that one goal takes this today. You know, it's that kind of game, but both teams have got reason to believe that it'll be them that gets it.
What a ball on the volley from Maynard. Out to the left for Lloyd. The angle was always against him. The keeper's made a good save, but he's hurt himself in the process, twisting his left ankle on what is quite a bobbly surface. His left ankle just turned there horribly, and he was in pain immediately. Sometimes they do just open up and close again. Let's hope it is just that for him, because he's been in terrific form, Elliot Justin, for Daggers in recent weeks, but that looked a nasty one as he landed very awkwardly, but he had to make the save to deny Danny Lloyd. It stays 0-0.
He did. What a breakaway from Danny Lloyd.
The pass though from Maynard
is exactly where you wanted it, and that's the kind of quality you've brought in with Lewis Maynard. One thing that I like about Lewis Maynard is not just his ability on the ball, his ability off it. I mean, look at him now. He's pulled Adam Thomas and Jordan Keenan in his first game, and he's just giving them little bits of instruction, how to operate on the pitch and where to be and everything else. Now, Lewis Maynard has been brought in on a 2.5-year deal. Jordan Keane, if I'm not mistaken, is already signed up for next year. So there's some continuity, some stability, call it what you like. In the middle of the park, I don't think there'll be any eyebrows raised if, whether it's this division or the one above next season, to see Maynard and Keane in the middle of the park is a good midfield. It's a strong midfield. And the partnership already, those two are pulling strings in there. It's not perfect yet, but there is going to be time to work on that, and I'm really enjoying seeing those two there.
Well, the keeper's back on his feet. There are some bumps and bobbles on this pitch, it's got to be said, and I think one of them did for him there, but he's recovered. Sometimes your ankle, if you turn it like that, it can open up. As Di Maio wins a throw-in for the Hatters down that left-hand side. It was a good save, but it was a save I guess he would expect to make. Danny Lloyd, the angle was always against him. Just wondered for a moment whether if he took the shot a little earlier, but he decided to take a touch, and as soon as he'd done that, the defender was able to force him wide. So still 0-0, 24 minutes gone, but County at the moment camped in the Dagenham and Redbridge half, and again a third successive County throw, which will be taken by Eddie Clark. Festus Arthur is the first to show, in a very advanced position, but he's lost the ball. And can't afford to do that when you've advanced into the opposition half. Lewis Maynard has won it back though for County to spare the blushes. Festus Arthur then dinks it forward, too much on it. He's over-egged that forward pass, and it goes behind for a goal kick. 25 minutes gone, 0-0.
You look at Lewis Maynard and Conor Di Maio, they're the two names people will be speaking about the most. I think Danny Lloyd will always have people speaking about him. He's not had a great deal of impact on the game, although he did have the opportunity then to make it 1-0. But you look at Conor Di Maio and Lewis Maynard, John, you've got to say, particularly Maynard, such a good first impression. First impressions count for so much. You know, earlier in the season, County took Joel Easley and Tom Walker on loan.
Sloppy pass from Conor Di Maio, and County could be punished here. I'll tell you what, Dan Cowan's made a great block there, but the referee didn't see it, and it's has given a goal kick as Deering fires over. But I think Dan just stuck his leg out and got a little flick on that to send it over the bar. But Conor Di Maio, he's got to take care of the ball better than that on the halfway line. He gave it away, and immediately the counter-attack was on, and Sam Deering, you said he's impressed you already today. His pace carried him beyond County's back three, and his shot just flashes over the bar. Yeah, he's one of those players for me, Deering, who's got a bit of everything, and the footballing brain we see in loads of players, but they don't quite have the fitness or the skill to back it up, whereas he does, and he's dangerous. Bell with a great glancing header to find Danny Lloyd wide right this time, but showed too much of it to the centre half, Manny Onorisa, who tracked him all the way, puts it out for a throw-in. That was evidence there. Danny Lloyd isn't glued to that left touchline. He popped up on the other side of the box then. Onorisa seems to be man-marking him though. He's gone everywhere with him. County throw. Oh, it's a great turn by Di Maio again. Plays it back out to the wing though. The cross from Cowan, it's much too close to keeper Justin, who's able to gather it. 27 minutes gone, 0-0.
Yeah, just saying a moment ago, first impressions when you come into a club like Stockport County are so important. I mean, Tom Walker and Joe Leasley came in earlier in the season. You could really argue that both of them had similar impact, but because Tom did it straight away, whereas Joe Leasley took a couple of games to get going, Tom was much more favourably thought of, and it showed today. He's a class above those.
Ash Palmer's been beaten in the air by House, and now Deering's on the go again. House has hurt himself in the process. The cross from Deering, headed away by Cowan, helped on by Maynard. Edge of the box is Brundle, dispossessed by Di Maio, and County can launch a counter-attack of their own. There was a foul surely on Danny Lloyd, not given, as the ball's played deep into the County half, and Festus Arthur again taking a little bit of a gamble, but he's got away with it. Clears up to the halfway line, where Conor Di Maio pounces on a loose clearance from Manny Onorisa and finds Lloyd again on that left side. The cross from Clark, in fact, drilled in hard, and from Lloyd rather, drilled in hard and low this time, and it's a good block in the end, isn't it, from the centre half Clark, who turns it behind. But County have a corner.
Yeah, it's a very good effort that from Danny Lloyd. A lot of power. I think he saw his attempt before. Possibly, I thought he could have done a little better. I think he's trying to make amends, and he really got his laces behind that one. And if County can keep pressing like this, the first goal is going to come at one point sooner rather than later.
Di Maio to take the corner, right-footed in-swinger this one. Poor delivery, near post. He's tried to make something of it, Keane, but that was always going to be a big ask. It was flat, hard, low, but I don't think that's what they worked on in training. He'll be disappointed there, Di Maio. He's a lot better than that, and it is a goal kick to Dagenham and Redbridge as we approach the half-hour mark. Both sides with one shot on target. The Daggers have also had 2 shots off target. Both sides 3 corners apiece, and it remains goalless as the goalkeeper, again, very low trajectory on his clearances, which allows Di Maio to steal on the halfway line. Lloyd gets the return from Bell. Lloyd, edge of the box, was he tripped? Well, the referee looked at it long and hard and thought, well, he wasn't going to get the ball anyway. Here's Maynard picking it up on the halfway line, but he's giving it away straight to Gordon. Gordon now can spring a counter-attack for the team in red and white, and it's down this left flank with Brundle. Gordon gets it back again. Keane has gone with him out towards the left touchline. Cowan's there to clear. Up towards Niall Bell. Great first touch from Bell. Takes him a little wide, and he can't quite keep it in play. You knew instantly when it came to him with his back to goal, with a lot of grass behind him, he was going to try and flick it round the corner and ask a question of Clark, but Clark knew that he had enough pitch there to run into and was able to just shepherd it out. Throw in to the Daggers, headed straight back by Adam Thomas. It's County getting in the faces of the Daggers at the moment, helped on by Lloyd. Clark doesn't manage to clear it, charged down by Di Maio. Bell out to the right wing. There are 3 in the box for Adam Thomas to pick out here. He might need a little bit of help though on this right wing. Thomas trying to get the cross in, eventually he does. It's a little too deep though, and it's cleared by Eleftheriou on the far post. Puts it out for a throw in. Good pressure though from the Hatters here.
Good initiative from County. Niall Bell's getting into the game a little bit more now. The first 20 minutes or so you could argue he was a little anonymous, but the last 10 minutes he's linking up with Danny Lloyd, well, he's linking up with Conor Di Maio, and that time it was Adam Thomas. I mean, his touch, okay, sometimes a little bit heavy, but he's bringing those 3 in behind him, and that's exactly what Jim Gannon will want from him.
Here's Clark down the left wing. It's a good strong challenge though to win it back by Eleftheriou, then cleared upfield by Deering towards House. House loses out in the 50-50, but it will be a throw into the home side as Cowan again slips on this rather treacherous pitch. House bringing it forward. Festus Arthur with the foul. The linesman flagging immediately. The referee, I don't think, is quite in agreement, but it is going to be a Dagenham Redbridge free kick just on that right touchline. It was the linesman who seemed very keen to give the free kick. The referee not quite so confident, but he's given it.
Very much an arm wrestle kind of game, this, isn't it? It slightly goes one way, then it slightly goes the other. It doesn't. At no point have you thought one team is absolutely dominated, but at no point have you thought they look completely comfortable either. You called it intriguing before, John. That's exactly what it is.
Free kick to be taken by the big number 5, Luke Kroll. He's got a sweet left foot on him though. The former Exeter man who left Exeter in the summer to come here. Fires it in. Headed away by who else? Ash Palmer. Helped on by Di Maio, and now Danny Lloyd trying to break, but it's a good recovery. Kroll. But the clearance then charged down by Adam Thomas. Great work by Thomas again. We talked about the daggers being in your faces and charging down, not letting you play out the high press. It's County who are doing that.
Yeah, absolutely what you'd expect from Adam Thomas. Like you say, the consistency there and to chase that lost cause down, and County has now won it back through him. Really good play.
Back to Festus Arthur. I don't think he really wanted it that time though, and his clearance has gone into touch for a throw-in to the Daggers on this near side. Still 0-0, 32 minutes gone, but Jim Gannon, I think, will be delighted with this first half hour or so. County have been more than equal of their opponents so far today. If there is one disappointment, it's been the lack of scoring opportunities, but that's probably true at both ends. Di Maio, dispossessed by Kroll. Halfway line, the Daggers play it forward again with Robinson. Cowan in sharply though to deny Reid the opportunity to break. It's going to be a throw in to the Daggers down this left hand side. Luke Gordon to take, the man who's come through the ranks here at Victoria Road. Couldn't keep hold of it. Throw into County on this near side. It's Dan Cowan to take his 122nd appearance for the Hatters today, the former Macclesfield defender, and having a good game in that right centre half berth in a back three today. I like him in that position, I've got to say. It's a good flick on from Adam Thomas as well, but Danny Lloyd's head has gone straight to Deering. Deering back to Eleftheriou. He'll play it forward down that right wing. Festus Arthur didn't know that Brundle was right behind him. Brundle steals, plays the cross into the box. Dan Cowan can't get there. Adam Thomas has to, and does, under pressure from Gordon. Puts it out for a throw-in, and just for a moment County's defence looked a little stretched, but Thomas, cool as you like, managed to make the clearance. Here's Robinson again though for the home side, wearing white shirts and red shorts today. Good strong tackle from Di Maio to win it back. Bell just overruns the ball as it's fired onto the roof just above us. A few journalists worried about the laptops then for a moment.
I was worried about my face.
Hey mate, I'd have edited that one for you, don't you worry. I'd have got to that one. Throw in, near side, Cowan to take. Still 0-0, but one of the more absorbing 0-0s, I think you'd agree.
You can have the laptop, just don't hurt the moneymaker, but he says on the radio. But no, Adam Thomas, I think, has epitomised what County need to be there. He's been clever, he's been smart. He could have panicked and just got the ball away when County were under a bit of pressure there, but he didn't. He was cool and calm, and County have come up with their end now. Maynard's
flick finding Clark. Now County with Keane out to the left for Danny Lloyd. He's got a chance to run at the defender here. Going to take it down towards the dead ball line, clips it across the penalty area towards Thomas on the far post, nods it down for Di Maio, trying to tee it up on the edge of the box for Keane. Keane lets it run right across him. Deering steals, and there's been a clash of heads on the far post which the referee spotted. Gordon and Thomas. Adam Thomas has gone down clutching his head, so both the physios called onto the pitch, and we will have a break in play.
I'm trying to work out, Jim Gannon has been fairly quiet, it's fair to say. I've not heard too much from him this half, but a couple of times he has just come out, and one of them was the corner, a little bit disappointing from Conor Di Maio earlier. He's just come out again. I'm trying to work out, is it Danny Lloyd he's talking to? If I'm honest, I don't think Danny Lloyd, all the attributes he does have, crossing I don't think is one of them, and I think he might just be saying to him, try and get it hard and low, stop, don't work on the fancy leaving it floating, leaving it hanging. Just get it in across the deck. Niall Bell's there, Adam Thomas is there. You know, there is a finish there for somebody.
Both players are okay, back on their feet, and they'll be able to play on, which is good news from a County perspective, certainly with Adam Thomas having recovered from that blow to the temple. So out on the pitch though, if you wanted a visible sign or any visible signs of what Mark Stott's takeover has done for County, the sheer lift the arrival of Danny Lloyd and Lewis Maynard today has given to the club. And Mark Stott, having spoken to him a couple of times now, he's so serious about taking County to the Championship in 7 years. It's an ambition I don't think I've ever seen in football, the scale of it, and it's really, really impressive. And straight away with these two signings, they've given County a lift. And Lewis Maynard, I know it's only been 36 minutes, Chris, but he looks a player.
Yeah, he's backing it up, Mark Stott, isn't he? And players like Lewis Maynard will do it for you. You're starting to understand what Jim Gannon meant now when he said next level signing. You can see that he is a next level footballer, and that's not taking anything away from the likes of Jordan Keane and Sam Walker and Paul Turnbull, but Lewis Maynard has gone in there, and like you say, it's less than a half of football, and already he looks like a leader. I think if you were coming to your first ever county game today and you said, "Who's the guy that's just signed and never played for us before?" I don't think you'd land on him.
By the way, county captain Paul Turnbull has travelled today, or travelled yesterday, I should say, to be with the squad, which is good to see. Starting a 3-match ban this afternoon. Header away by Honorisa, headed straight back by Keane, but it's gone. Didn't land kindly, but now the chance for Maynard to prod it through to Bell. It was a decent through ball. The initial header wasn't the best from Jordan Keane, but Maynard sprang onto it very, very quickly and prodded it brilliantly through the gap for Bell. The goalkeeper, alert to the danger, smothered the threat, but County do have a threat, and Maynard already has played a couple of tremendous through balls, and with Di Maio in the side as well. County looking very creative from the middle of the park as Keane puts it out for a throw-in on the near side. Strong tackle on Deering. It's a throw-in to the Daggers on this near side, their left. Just inside County territory. Liam Gordon to take, the left wing-back. Still 0-0. There's 7 minutes to go to the break. Gordon's throw. Keane, it's not the best of headers, but Palmer's there to rescue the situation. Now Maynard again. A little drop of the shoulder. He's so comfortable in possession. Turns it back to Hinchliffe. Right-footed clearance from Hinchliffe down the throats of the Daggers defenders, who let it run for goalkeeper Elliot Justin just behind them. The pitch, I've mentioned it a couple of times, it's bobbly, isn't it? It's dangerous when you get those balls back to the goalkeeper, but Hinchliffe very comfortable and confident with his clearance.
It worries me every time Ben Hinchliffe kicks out a back pass with his first touch. We've seen it backfire before. I don't need to remind anyone of the occasion. But just on Maynard, John, I think, especially centre midfielders, when you speak about as a quality, they always seem to have time on the ball. That's not by accident. That's the way they position themselves on the pitch, the way that they read the play, the way that they dictate where the players are around them. Lois Maynard has those qualities, or he's certainly shown them in this opening 40 minutes today. Every time he's got the ball, he never looks troubled. Dagenham play a high press. They're in the faces of the wingers. They're in the faces of the attacking players. But when Lois Maynard gets put under pressure, every single time he's had an avenue to turn out of it or release a pass, and you can't help but be really impressed with that.
He was a late starter like Danny Lloyd in the senior game, but learnt his trade in the school of hard knocks with the likes of Daisy Hill and Chadderton, Flixton, Stocksbridge Steels, Winsford, before moving to Halifax in 2013, so quite late really getting into the senior game. Couple of years there, couple of years at Tranmere Rovers though, and then those back-to-back promotions with Salford City, and really relishing this opportunity, as I say, later in his career. And you tend to find those players do tend to stay in the game later as well, so perhaps it's not such a surprise a 31-year-old's getting a 2.5-year contract. Here's the home side pushing forward again though, with Brundle. Deering's gone down, appealing for a free kick. Referee doesn't want to know. Deering again, he's that busy protesting to the referee. The game's going on around him. Earlier he took his shirt off whilst a corner was being taken, which I've never seen before.
Yeah, that's the one weakness in his game, if you like, is he does, I don't know, is he trying to make it about himself? Is he an ego kind of player, and that's what attacking players sometimes need? I'm not sure, but he's certainly got that strut around the pitch nailed. But listen, he's a good player. He looks very, very dangerous. He
was at Billericay before coming here, left them in November because he wanted full-time football, which he gets here. But he has ironically played under Daryl McMahon before when they were at Ebbsfleet together. Left wing, County pushing forward with Clark. Has it taken off him by Eleftheriou. Fires it upfield, but Palmer's there again to meet it. But Deering picks up the second ball and immediately, very direct, only one thought in his mind, to run straight at the heart of the County defence. It was a poor touch though from Reid. Decent pass from Deering to find Reid, who just didn't have the confidence to take the shot with his left foot. They've got a throw in, they've taken it quickly. It's crossed by Brundle, it's headed wide of the target. A clash of heads again. The referee will have to allow House to get treatment here. Good defending by Festus Arthur to keep that one at bay.
Yep, and then from Dan Cowan just after him, just to see it out of play, use his body well, Dan Cowan. But I love that transition of play. I mean, I don't like to see it against my own team, but you look at Sam Deering, the way he picked up the ball in his own half, knocked it 10 or 15 yards in front of him with all the confidence in the world that he was going to keep hold of it, almost daring County players to come at him, because he knew he had full confidence in his own ability. He was going to take him on. He found the pass, and if anything, I think his strikers let him down there.
Here's Lloyd again on the left wing. He's furthest man forward. There's nobody up with him. He's going to have to settle for a corner, and he's done exactly that. Sometimes he's so quick, he gets beyond the other front men, and it's a quickly taken corner as well. Clark drills it into the box. It's a good header away by the big centre half on a reset. Flicks it out to the opposite touchline for a throw-in to County. Well, that was unusual. You don't often see County take a short corner, but that caught the Daggers defence cold. Clark with the cross, looking for Niall Bell. Glanced away for a throw-in on this near side, the County right. We've got about 2.5 minutes to go to the break. There'll be a little bit of stoppage time for the various injuries. Cowan's cross deflected, but it lands at the feet of Maynard. Keane takes over down the right wing. Thomas now attacking the dead ball line. His cross blocked by Gordon, who I think he took that right in the midriff, didn't he? So he's doubled over at the moment.
Yep.
Trying to get a bit of breath back into him.
It's a painful area.
Yeah. He won't need treatment because there isn't any for that. 2 minutes to play to the break. He's back on his feet again, having made that brave block. County throw. Right hand side. Down by the corner flag. Hurled in. Headed away by Clark. Well, they both went for the same ball. There's confusion. What a block that is. Danny Lloyd's shot. I'm not sure whether it was the defender or the goalkeeper, but it was point blank range.
Yeah, it was the goalkeeper, and he's taken it right on the jaw, you know. I'm amazed that he's got back up there. That must have been what it felt like to be punched by Mike Tyson. It was point blank range in the face.
I don't think he knew anything about the save, did he, about the block? There's Danny Lloyd with his right foot close, but the goalkeeper, yeah, you're right, Chris, look, he's still hurting.
I'm not surprised. I'm amazed that he's even stood up from that. He must have just gone into subconscious auto mode, because he jumped up straight away as though nothing had happened. But yeah, you're right. Now the ball's just stopped in play. He's got it back out now, and play resumes. But he'll have a headache in the morning, no doubt.
So Danny Lloyd twice denied by Justin in this first half. As County come forward again, Niall Bell though dispossessed by Onorisa. Played upfield to Deering. Who else? The attacking midfielder. He's away again. He's running at Ash Palmer. It comes out to Reed. His shot's deflected into the path of Ben House, but Ben Hinchliffe reacts quickly and gathers it on the bounce. But Sam Deering is creating a lot for the Daggers from midfield. He's in that little pocket between the lines and very difficult to pick up.
Palmer didn't want anything to do with that. Sam Deering just dangled the ball in front of him, just dared Ash to come out and see if he could grab it, and very wisely Ash Palmer stayed at home.
Clark's cross too high for Danny Lloyd, as you might expect. The clearance from Gordon puts it out for a throw-in. We've got 2 added minutes at the end of this first half.
2 additional minutes in this half. 2 additional minutes.
Yeah, a couple of head injuries to be expected, but John, the fast pace may not have stayed throughout the game, throughout the first half, but the intrigue certainly has. I just can't take my eyes off this game.
0-0, but it's been lively. County throw, right hand side. Cowan gets the return ball, clips it into the box, too far in front of Niall Bell, too close to the goalkeeper. Justin back in possession again, looking at his options. Takes it over to the left side of his area and then clears it left footed. Again, quite low trajectory, which allows Deering to collect. The smallest man on the pitch heads it out to the right wing into the path of Eleftheriou. His cross is blocked by Clark at the cost of a corner. Good pressure from the Daggers in the final minutes of added time at the end of the first half.
Yep, they move that ball well. It's a risky tactic, if I'm honest, the low goal kicks, but when you see it land at Deering, either on his head or his chest or either foot, you can see why they do it, and he just releases those players around him. And it is a risky tactic. County have cut it out a couple of times, but when it works, you can imagine they have more success with it than without.
County fans sing the name of Danny Lloyd as he goes over to block the attempt at a short corner, so Kroll will have to whip it in at pace. Headed away by Ash Palmer. Difficult corners to take because there's an embankment behind that goal and there's a wall down the side. There's hardly any run-up. And any run-up you've got is down a slope. So it is very difficult to take corners at that end away to our left. I'm not quite sure how County will cope with that. Here's Kroll again, though. Tricky feet, but Eddie Clark with a good challenge. We've taken 3 of them on there. Kroll. Clark clears, but it's gone straight through to the goalkeeper, Justin. And there goes the whistle for half-time. A goalless but absorbing first 45 minutes of football. The first shot of the day coming on 12 minutes. It came from Ben House, the centre-forward for the Daggers. It was hard, it was low, but it was well saved by Ben Hinchliffe. And then a couple of chances for County in the second stages of that first half. It was a brilliant volleyed ball from Lois Maynard on his debut. A fabulous pass out to the left wing for Danny Lloyd. The angle was always against him, though. He was denied by goalkeeper Elliot Justin, and Justin again took one full in the face from Lloyd just before the half-time break. But Jim Gannon, I think, will be delighted with the way his team have performed in that first 45 minutes. It's been a half of very few chances, but it's been a very, very good half in terms of footballing quality.
It all comes down to this.
Stockport County Live on Imagine Radio with mydigitalaccounts.com, the smart accountant for the digital age, specialising in online accounts and tax returns. Call us today on 0161 925 6162 for a friendly chat about your accounting needs, or visit at mydigitalaccounts.com. Stockport County Live on Imagine Radio with mydigitalaccounts.com, the smart accountant for the digital age, specialising in online accounts and tax returns. Call us today on 0161 925 6162 for a friendly chat about your accounting needs, or visit at mydigitalaccounts.com. Stockport County Live on Imagine Radio with mydigitalaccounts.com, the smart accountant for the digital age, specialising in online accounts and tax returns. Call us today on 0161 925 6162 for a friendly chat about your accounting needs, or visit at mydigitalaccounts.com.
Enjoy your garden all year.
Stockport County Live on Imagine Radio with mydigitalaccounts.com, the smart accountant for the digital age, specialising in online accounts and tax returns. Call us today on 0161 925 6162 for a friendly chat about your accounting needs, or visit at mydigitalaccounts.com.
Well, a very good afternoon and welcome back to Dagenham and Redbridge, where Stockport County is currently 0-0 at half-time, goalless. Both sides look good going forward, both sides look good at the back, and really they've cancelled each other out, but there have been bright sparks and spells for both teams, so plenty more to come in the second half. Just going to quickly go down the other scores in and around the division today. Not too many games on today because of FA Trophy commitments. Chesterfield and Wrexham, that's a full time, that was earlier today. Chesterfield 3, Wrexham 2, goalless at Bromley and Solihull. Hartlepool 2, Aldershot 0 is your other game in the National League today. Obviously the FA Trophy commitments have taken over the league schedule really, so not much change to the live league table other than Hartlepool. They've moved up the table a couple of places, obviously 2-0 up at half time will do that for you, but really it's as you were. County still just outside the playoff places. I mean, a win takes you a lot closer, but that's how it stands at half time. John Kieran still waiting on the teams to come back out. We've got a couple of minutes yet. The tunnel's not come back out. If you're Jim Gannon, what are you saying to those boys right now?
I'm not sure what he'll be saying to them, but what I will say myself is, this has been it's been a really good game of football. I mean, we're talking about two sides. I think it's probably one of the best halves I've seen this season. Two really good teams, very competitive, both very well organised, with some very good players as well. So I'm really enjoying it as a spectacle. Although, having said that, we've had 3 shots on target in the entire first half.
Just a quick note, it has been brought to my attention, Frank Mulhern out on loan at Boston has scored for them today in a game against York City. It's 1-1. Not that I think he would have had much change out of this today, really. I think Niall Bell has done okay, bringing other players into play. He's overtouched it a couple of times, but he's up against a very experienced defence and they're playing well. It's just it's an absorbing affair, isn't it?
Fantastic. It's been great to watch them on, as I said, a bobbly pitch. It's not the greatest playing surface, but you look at some of the individuals that we've got, the likes of Maynard and Lloyd and Dan Cowan's having a really good game. Eddie Clark's been dead steady on that left hand side. Ash Palmer's been dominant at the back. But then look at their team. Ben House is leading the line really well for them. Sam Deering looks dangerous every time he picks it up in midfield, and they've got a really solid back three in Honorisa, Clark and Kroll. So and the goalkeeper's made a couple of really good saves for them. So you've got to say it's been a cracking game. But that apart, it's a game where County need 3 points really. So do you know, having said all of that though, they've had a difficult season so far, the Daggers. The target at the start of the season was promotion, so to find themselves 3 points above the drop zone, they'll be hugely disappointed with where they are in the league table. But you can see the impact Daryl McMahon's had on them already. I
can think of another team whose aim was promotion this season. They're down the bottom end of the table, but
even worse.
Looking at today's team, looking at the subs bench in particular, Ben Jackson, bit of pace, Sam Walker, bit of creativity. There's not going to be any subs at half time, but do you anticipate any changes coming soon?
I can't see why you would change anything at the moment. And if it carries on in the same vein, it wouldn't then either. So no, Jim Gannon I think will be really pleased with it. I guess you might consider Conor DeMeo's not been playing at this level. He's been getting games under his belt, but he's not been playing at this level lately, so that's a possibility. I suppose you might think about a change there, but no, he's done well, so carry on as you were.
Referee just about to take kick-off, just thought he'd have one last check of the ball, and it wasn't up to scratch, so he's just replaced that. That's why we're just delaying for a moment, but I think we're about to get underway any moment now.
I love the way Richard Landon has stolen the one that was returned.
He's a quick thinker, isn't he?
Yeah, straight in the bag. We're ready for kick-off. County kicking from right to left now in this second half as we look at it, kicking towards the blue and white army, massed behind that goal to our left-hand side, where Elliot Justin has twice denied Danny Lloyd in that first half. The long clearance from Ash Palmer up towards Niall Bell. Bell doing well against Robinson, but he can't get past Clark, who clears into County territory. Festus Arthur up against his opposite number, Reed. Reed couldn't get in behind. Festus Arthur was solid. Gets the clearance. Great first touch from DeMeo to get it out from under his feet. Trying to play it in behind Onorisa now for Lloyd to run onto. Onorisa defends it well. County have a throw in deep in the opposition half. That was a good piece of play from Conor DeMeo.
Yeah, he's capitalised quickly. A lesson straight away in how not to read a bounce by Matt Robinson. He just completely lost the flight of the ball. It bounced clean over him. Connor acted quickly and almost released Danny Lloyd. Clark's volleyed cross headed away by the big centre-back Onorisa. Festus Arthur solid on the halfway line, but he's a long way from home now, and he'll be happy to see that one go out. Throw into the Daggers on this near side. Still 0-0. Second minute of the second half. Taken from the wrong place, so Brundle has to start all over again. I think it was good for Conor DeMeo to have that burst, if you like. I think he's the epitome of a confidence player. When he's flying high, he's really untouchable. If he can get a few of those under his belt where he's leaving players in his wake, I think County benefit overall. Onorisa's throw. Robinson, as they try going down the left-hand side now with Kroll bringing it forward. Playing it through the gap, but Ben Hinchliffe alert to it. Deering was trying to connect with the pass from Kroll. Jim Gannon bawling at Ben Hinchliffe again, I think saying that he should have released that one earlier. The problem Ben Hinchliffe's got in this second half now is the sun has dipped very low, hasn't it, and it's right in his eyes. Yeah, he's going to need some form of baseball cap, I think. It's so low. I think that's probably what threw the Dagenham midfielder a moment ago when reading a bounce, but we are privileged at this angle. We're right next to Danny Lloyd, and it's that combination of Hinchliffe and Lloyd. You can see exactly how it's working. It's a County throw-in, just midway inside County territory, down the Hatters' left. Festus Arthur to take, as County try to get into Daggers' half. Robinson, though, heads it back where it came from. Thomas is there to clear, lofted over the top for Lloyd to chase. Clark, though, beats him to it. Kroll now over to that left-hand side for Gordon. He can't keep it in play. It's a County throw. Adam Thomas is in a hurry to take it, but decides instead to leave it to Dan Cowan. He thought about taking that one. Cowan's overruled. It's clever play that from Dagenham, and that's where they'll have built their clean sheet record from. Just nothing silly at the back. Just Danny Lloyd sniffing around. So just the easy ball, the easy option, get it away, get it out of trouble. Clark's done that really well there, and in doing that, he's just nullified Danny Lloyd and his threat and his presence in attack there. It's smart play. Well, it was a frantic start to the first half, and it was a tempo and a pace that never really dropped, but the start to the second half has been a lot more pedestrian. 3 minutes gone, and no real excitement so far. It's a goal kick to County, which keeper Ben Hinchliffe will take, as the Hatters try to build from the back here. He's again having to shield his eyes from the sun, looking towards Danny Lloyd on this left side, but it's going to be Bell who gets there first. But he's beaten to it by Robinson. Robinson heads it clear. Festus Arthur wins it well on the halfway line, but then the home side have it back, and it's Deering again. A volleyed ball out to the right wing for Reed. Back to Eleftheriou. Eleftheriou's taking on Eddie Clark. Gets his cross in. Festus Arthur's there with the block. It'll be another throw in to the Daggers on this near side. Still 0-0. Eleftheriou trying to get the ball back, but it's a County throw this time, as the clearance of Clark was blocked. Well, it's probably the scrappiest the game has been this last 4 minutes. Yeah, well, I mean, that's the danger of these games. When you get two good footballing sides, they can look very good, or they can cancel each other out. And really, the first half was case A, and this half has been a little bit more case B. DeMeo, that's brilliant. Plays it down the left inside, left channel there to try and find Niall Bell. Again, well defended by Onorisa. Looks very impressive. Big, tall centre-half, but he's got a good turn of pace as well, the former Rotherham man. Came through the ranks just down the road here at West Ham. As Niall Bell is crossed from the left with his weaker left foot. Goes behind the goal. Goal kick to the Daggers. Still 0-0. I actually thought Eddie Clark could have used Conor DeMeo there. Niall Bell made the run, and it was an interesting run, but he was always trapped. There was always a man on him, but he could have used that run as a decoy. He left Conor DeMeo completely wide open there, and with his creativity, you get Niall Bell into the box rather than down the wing, but the chance goes missing.
Here's Robinson, halfway line for Dagenham. County win it back brilliantly through Palmer. Ball over the top again, Danny Lloyd to give chase, this time down the right flank. The keeper's come out of his area to clear. Puts it into touch though, it's a Hatters throw on the far side. It was interesting to see some of the puns and the reactions on social media when County this week announced one of their new sponsors as a funeral directors, but the Dagenham and Redbridge team shirts are actually sponsored by a funeral directors, West & Co. Here's the name. And, that's got to be a first, hasn't it? Funeral directors on the shirts.
I can't think of it happening anywhere else, if I'm honest.
It's dead funny though, isn't it? Sorry.
Oh,
Free
God.
kick, Dagenham. Kroll takes. Oh, it's gone for header Maynard and gone backwards. Deering will benefit here as the Daggers trying to create a goal-scoring opportunity, but brilliantly defended again by Connor DeMeo. By Clark this time, rather, who breaks up the attack. DeMeo trying to get on the end of this pass from Bell. It's gone beyond him. Kept in play by Lloyd. Lloyd running at the full-back. Draws the challenge. It's good defending initially. Lloyd still has a chance, though, to tee it up for Maynard again. Looks one way and goes the other. Lloyd. Little reverse pass from him to try and get DeMeo in behind this time, but he slightly over-egged it. Maynard thought he was fouled in the build-up to that. Not sure how you saw it, Chris.
No, it was a good 50-50. I think Maynard had to... I like the little... look away, do pass the other way, but in doing that, you let the ball run away from your feet a little bit. He then has to try and retrieve it, and it's more of an even tackle. Jim Gannon's just had a really strong word with Danny Lloyd about when he gets into that position, don't try the step over and the extra touch, just get the ball in the box early. And I'm in agreement with the gaffer there. I think he had the chance to get a crossing.
Ash Palmer, again, strong at the back, clears upfield, but Honoris is there, beats Lloyd in the air. Lloyd gets his revenge and manages to play it forward. Bell a little slow to react to that forward pass from DeMeo. Clark puts it out for a throw into County. Still 0-0 here as Bell receives. Wide left. Bell, past one. Has DeMeo in support. Back to Clark now. Clark with the cross for County, too close to the goalkeeper. Justin plucks it out of the air and then volleys it forward for Reed to chase. Again, Ash Palmer looks to be in control. The pitch is really slow, isn't it? I know it's been a talking point this week, but I didn't notice them watering it before the game at all, and the ball is holding up, and it's a difficult playing surface. It's held up nicely this time, though, for Niall Bell, as County come forward again. Out to the right for Adam Thomas, but the cross is poor. It's too deep. In fact, it's gone behind the goal, and it is a goal kick to the home side. It's Dagenham and Redbridge 0, Stockport County 0 here on Imagine in association with mydigitalaccounts.com. 8.5 minutes gone in this second half.
Yeah, I think that the pitch just down in front of us, Eddie Clark tried to take a touch before crossing it in when the ball was given to him by Connor DeMeo there, and I think that's attributed to the bobbliness of the pitch. I think if that's a flat service, I think he gets it in first time, and it's a good angle for a cross, but Dagenham this time able to close it down a little quicker, and it changes the whole flight of the ball. County, they are adapting to the quality of the pitch.
It's bobbly and bone dry at the moment. DeMeo again putting himself about. He can be pleased with his performance this afternoon so far. It's been a really good hour almost for Connor DeMeo on his return to the Hatters, having impressed at Curzon Ashton earlier in the season. Well, the linesman flagging here, saying that the throw-in from Honorias didn't come into play, so Honorias can take another one. Keep going, says the referee as he tells him to retreat. Honorias, the centre-half, signed on a free from Rotherham in the summer after a previous loan spell. And that'll be another throw-in down the Daggers' right wing. Second half yet to get going. 10 minutes gone. 0-0. Brundle this time with the throw.
A bit clunky, isn't it, so far the half? I mean,
what a contrast to the first, yeah.
But maybe this is where the game opens up a little bit. While it is like this, both sides have got players in the likes of Deering, in the likes of Lloyd, who can just break away when all the scrappiness is happening, almost like American football, when the ball just spills out and all of a sudden one of the quick players goes on the run that makes the difference.
Oh, and Eleftheriou almost spilling the ball into the path of Ben Hinchliffe there, as the attendance announced. Just over 1,500 here, but as we said, well, it's not 300 County fans, it's 334. An incredible turnout from the Blue and White Army today. Average gates here around about the 1,300 mark, so you can see it's been massively swelled today to 1,500 by the Edgeley Park faithful.
I've got to say, when I got the train at 6 o'clock this morning, there was a load of County fans getting on there early, so they have come down in numbers today.
Someone who's not here, must mention Zach Landon, Richard Landon, the kit man. It's his son's birthday today. Zach is 12 years old this afternoon. He's having a party back at Edgeley. And would you believe it was on this day in 2008 when County played Dagenham and Redbridge that Zach was born? So ironic, isn't it, that it's fallen on a Saturday again when we make the return. And for very different reasons this time. Zach can't be here today. But happy birthday, Zach. 12 years old today.
Yeah, happy birthday, Zach.
Richard Landon, proud dad. Free kick to the Daggers, just inside County territory. Well, I bigged this game up at half-time. It's been shocking since the restart, hasn't it? Typical.
The John Kieran curse.
The curse. The commentator's curse. It's all my fault, yeah. Here's the free kick. Deering into the box. The head of Keane. Oh, and a complete miscue from Clark as he went to clear it. Allows Honorias to pick his pocket. The cross from Robinson's a dangerous one. It's volleyed away by Jordan Keane. Comes out to Eleftheriou, the former Watford man. Deering takes over. Oh, it's a clever ball from Deering again. He has been the pick of the Daggers players. And the return ball from Robinson, though, is poor, but an equally poor clearance from Festus Arthur. Deering collects. Prods it into the box for Ben House. This could be the opener. Brave goalkeeping. Hinchliffe smothered the ball at source. But here come the Daggers again. It's suddenly come to life, this game. What a clever pass in behind Adam Thomas for Gordon to run onto. And what a tackle from Dan Cowan. He's been outstanding this afternoon. Throw in to Dagenham.
Wow, County not reacting quickly enough. When the ball fell to Jordan Keane, Danny Lloyd on his bike waiting for the ball. Jordan Keane just had an extra look and had his pocket picked. They were allowed to recycle the play there, and they don't half look dangerous. Matt Robinson it was that time, the engine in midfield really, making it all happen. And they're not going away now, Dagenham.
Yeah, good player Matt Robinson. He's done well for them as the referee says that's a goal kick to Stockport County. I mentioned Eleftheriou there with his former club Watford. He actually played for Watford in the Premiership against Manchester City, but left Watford in the summer to make the move here to Dagenham and Redbridge. The 22-year-old right back, former Watford man. To goal kick to the Hatters. Jim Gannon just calling for a bit more tempo to the game. You sometimes get this, don't you? Players put everything into a first half and then they're a little bit devoid of energy in the second. Yeah,
and I think maybe that conversation we had at half-time about substitutes coming on, I think this might be where they're needed. For me, someone like Ben Jackson, that electric pace, it might be him that comes on. Sam Minahan's down there as well on the other side. Either side, really, you could see it, but the defensive capabilities of Adam Thomas have been called upon a couple of times this afternoon. So
yeah, at half-time you couldn't really make an argument for fresh legs, but at this point in the game, maybe you can. Again, a horrible bobble there as Justum's gone to clear it. That's why he's put that out on the halfway line. The pitch is shocking, isn't it? It's just bobbled horribly. At half-time we were introduced to Dagenham's new tractor, which that is a first. I've never seen that before at a game either, but the tractor was introduced to the crowd. They've had a whip round and bought a new tractor, which is fantastic news for them, and I hope it's got a roller behind it, because that's what they need on this pitch. It's very, very bobbly, and that's almost undid Elliot Justum there, the Daggers keeper.
Groundsman John, I like that.
I know. I got stuck with Mick O'Brien the other night, that's what it is.
I like a good curry. I like a good tractor story. It was a nice curry though.
You can tell how boring the game is in this second half, can't you?
What did you go for?
Everything. Chicken tikka masala again. Must mention the garam masala, by the way. Thank you very much to them for our night out. Here's Deering again. But again, it's a shot from distance, which was never going to trouble goalkeeper Ben Hinchliffe. And it stays 0-0.
Disappointing that from a Dagenham and Redbridge perspective, because really, if he gets that on target, Ben Hinchliffe has got the ball and the sun to deal with. You've seen the easier ones go in when the keeper's using one hand to shield his face, but by not even hitting the target, you make life very, very easy for the opposition goalkeeper.
Sam Deering signed from Billericay in November, yet to find the back of the net for his new club. As Gordon plays it down the left touchline, Ben House will chase. Dan Cowan just trying to shepherd him away. He's done well actually in the end. Gives it back to Ben Hinchliffe, who clears right-footed. The referee though has awarded the corner kick. Says that Cowan didn't keep it in play. So Sam Deering with the set piece from the corner.
It's dangerous this. I mean, they are tall. They're a tall physical side, or at least they have the tall physical element. And by getting corners into the box, especially with Deering, who's terrific technical ability.
And he's whipped that in. Great pace on it. A free header. But it's spooned away by Hinchliffe. The flag's up, though. It wouldn't have counted had he turned it in. But I think the initial effort, which was the header from Brundle, which was on target, that would have counted. But when Reid went for the second ball, he was in an offside position. But a free header.
It's actually a very, very good save, isn't it? Ben Hinchliffe getting down quickly and just using his left forearm to scoop the ball away almost. You've got to be brave to be a goalkeeper. I mean, you've got to be strong. You can't have the weak wrist syndrome, but at the same time, you've got to throw yourself down sometimes when there's bigger lads than you going in studs first, and he's done well there, Ben.
It's 7.5 hours now since County last scored a goal, as Niall Bell flagged offside here. And County just 2 shots this afternoon as well in an hour of football, as Brundle collects for Dagenham and Redbridge, hits the long diagonal towards Ben House. It's cut out by Adam Thomas for County, finds Maynard, who's yet to get into the game in this second 45. Clark didn't really want it, immediately had 2 white shirts on him, and he's lost the ball. Eleftheriou finds Deering trying to keep it on the deck. Keane with the interception. Lloyd, Di Maio over the top, but again Niall Bell just not quite quick enough to react to the ball over the top.
He's got to be a bit more aggressive for me, Niall Bell there. He's got to run at the ball rather than around the man.
County throw taken quickly by Lloyd, but Bell unable to thread it through to Di Maio.
All of a sudden, a little bit more tempo from both sides.
Yeah, it's a bit more frenetic now, isn't it?
I think there's a reason for both teams to want the win here.
Ben House bundling his way through the County back line. It was a very good challenge in the end from Dan Cowan, which, although he didn't stop the progress of the striker who got his shot away, it made it a very tame, scruffy effort and a comfortable save. I think we're going to see Liam McAlinden coming on shortly, though. Yeah,
both him and Sam Minahan have actually just been called in with some intrigue. I think Jim Gannon has sensed there's a little bit more energy coming out onto the pitch now, and maybe it is time to bring on a little bit more of an attacking threat from McAlinden's perspective.
Oh, it's a risky back pass from Palmer. Hinchliffe has volleyed it away, but it's got out for a throw-in on the far side. Well, the Daggers, 7 hours now since they last led a goal in. For County, 7.5 since they last scored one.
It can't be a 0-0. That'd have been too obvious before the game. There is a goal in this one, I'm sure of it.
Dagenham, I think, are going to consider a change as well. Fresh legs, perhaps, for the home side. They've got Miles Weston, who they signed yesterday from Ebbsfleet, who could come on. Throw into County, over on the far side, the Hatters' right.
Yeah, Maynard's done well to win that, actually. Stretching to win the ball, he's just prodded it off his opposite number and is able to claim the throwing back.
Sam Minahan is ready to come on, Chris, you were right, as is McAlinden. A double change for the Hatters to try and freshen things up for the final quarter of the game. Here on Imagine, in association with mydigitalaccounts.com, it remains 0-0. Eddie Clark making a marauding run forward, but he's lost possession. He's lucky that he's got Keane behind him to mop up. He's pulled the shirt of Reid, as Eddie Clark. It will be a free kick to the home side. Here comes a change for the Hatters then. Niall Bell is making way.
2, Sam Minnow.
Okay.
Well, Adam Thomas is going to play through the middle, I think, here. That's why it's Minihan for Bell. Because Minihan's going to play on the right wing. Thomas will play through the middle. Well, Bell's struggled, hasn't he, in the second half?
Yes. For me, he's lost a bit of his edge in the second half. What we saw from him last week, the aggressive, the tenacity, the energy that he had to run at players and put them under pressure and intimidate them. This half, he's not really had. He needs that bite around him. That's what you want to see from a centre forward. You want to see the ones that go through defenders if there's no way around them, not try and go the long way around. And he's not really had that the second half, has Belly.
Liam McAlinden, it's a straight swap. He's come on for Conor DeMeo, but just looking at the way County have lined up here, looks as though McAlinden actually might be the furthest man forward, the number 9, with Adam Thomas taking over where DeMeo left off. So
I think at training this week, Jim was saying McAlinden prefers almost to be in the front line rather than the 3 behind. Although he can do that role, I think he's better suited up top. So I think we might see a little bit more from him this afternoon.
That's exactly what's happened. He's gone into that centre forward role with Lloyd just playing off him, and Adam Thomas in the number 10 role. Here's Reid for the Daggers, 25 yards from goal, squeezes out to the left wing. Gordon to Kroll. He's offside though. It's a free kick to the Hatters, and now the home side are going to make a change as well. Liam Gordon, that was his last contribution. He's going to be replaced by Miles Weston in a straight swap. It's a debut for Weston, signed yesterday from Ebbsfleet.
A little bit sloppy from both sides, really, getting caught offside so regularly this second half. First half, they both look like good footballing sides, but second half, I've lost count of how many offsides there's been.
Miles Weston, the Antigua international, is on, and there's another change as well. Alex Reid is coming off, and it's the return of top scorer Angelo Balanta.
Listen to that applause for him.
Yeah, he's been out injured for a few weeks, the Colombian striker. 6 goals last season, 7 in the current campaign for the former Queen's Park Rangers trainee. The County fans are saying they've never heard of him. But it's a big welcome for Balanta, who signed a new 2.5-year deal here back in October. So you can see how much they think of the Colombian striker, signed for an undisclosed fee from Boreham Wood in the autumn of 2018. County fans in Good Voice away to our left. We've played 68 minutes here at Victoria Road. It remains 0-0.
Boreham Wood manager, just a couple of rows in front of us, has just noticeably turned to someone who's sitting near him and said the word good player when he came on. He obviously rates him. I mean, managers, just because they sell players doesn't mean they don't like them or think they're a bad player. And I think there was a bit of appreciation around the ground there.
Both managers making a double change, and here's Ben House down the left wing. He's got the chance here to pull it back to the substitute Balanta, but he's gone for goal rather selfishly. And the Hatters able to clear their lines through Minihan. Up towards Liam McAlinden, tussling with Kenny Clark. He's done very well, Kenny Clark, the centre-half in his second spell with the club, signed from Ebbsfleet 18 months ago. And here's Balanta on his return. Welcomed noisily by the home fans. Very right-footed Balanta. Checks back inside. Finds Deering now. Deering. It's a good ball, gets the return. Unable to progress any further. And County clearing their lines once again. But here they come again. Down the right with Eleftheriou taking on Eddie Clark. And he's got his cross in. It's too close to goalkeeper Ben Hinchliffe though. But they do have this additional threat now with Balanta and House up front.
Yeah, McAlinden, I think he's just struggling to get into the rhythm of the game at the moment. Clark specifically is sitting on him, but just in front of him is Robinson. 2 big, strong players, and he's just struggling to find he needs a few touches. He just needs to get into the game, and so far he's not getting them.
Still been a scrappy second half, this contest between Dagenham and County. And there's a prime example The ball given away by Balanta straight to Maynard, but then when County get it back, they fire it into space, and it's easy for goalkeeper Justin to come out of his area and fire it upfield. Good header by Cowan, though, to send it back where it came from. It flicks off Adam Thomas and goes out for a throw-in, though, to the home side. First touch for Miles Weston, the 31-year-old wide man. Came through the ranks with Arsenal and Charlton. He's had a good career, over 320 Football League appearances for the Antiguan International. 7 goals this season for Ebbsfleet. And played there under Daryl McMahon. So that's where he knows him from. Scored 4 in his last 7 appearances for the Fleet. So he's made the short journey here to Victoria Road. County throw, far side. Dan Cowan to take, midway inside the Daggers half. 20 minutes to go. It's hard to believe, Chris Ridgway, that you're watching the same 2 teams that played out that terrific first half, isn't it?
It is. I mean, we've just won a corner, and of course I want to see us hopefully score from it, but really I just think County just need a spell of passing the ball around and getting comfortable on it again, because they've not been comfortable all half, and I think when they get into the rhythm they do look the better team, but
I think that was the biggest cheer of the day, wasn't it, for the corner? Danny Lloyd takes, but it's much too close to keeper Justin, and now the counter-attack could be on. He's targeting Deering, and it's going to reach him because it's a poor header by defender Clark, and Deering has picked out the runner Brundle, who drives it in, but there's the save from Ben Hinchliffe, and Eddie Clark is mightily relieved.
Well, Ben House is furious. He was on his own in the middle. If that was squared, he'd have had a tap-in.
Terrible header from Clark, wasn't it, which gifted the chance to Deering to tee up Brundle.
And he doesn't have the excuse of the sun either anymore. It's gone.
Balanta crossing from the left, headed away by Festus Arthur. Maynard will flick it on to Keane. Keane, right-footed, chips it forward, but again it's a pretty aimless ball. It's gone out for a throw-in. County's distribution from midfield has got to improve in the last 18 minutes or so. Keane glancing the ball on. It's gone straight to that left side for Weston. Balanta brings House in, coming in off the left side, but the flag has denied him the opportunity. He missed the target anyway, but it's a linesman's flag that has come to County's rescue on this occasion. It stays 0-0.
What a touch from Balanta. What a touch. You can see why they rate him so highly. When the ball came to him there, it was almost something from the Dennis Bergkamp book. Inside of his right foot, he's managed to scoop it up and over the head of Ash Palmer, and it's bounced nicely in the path of House making the run. A fantastic touch. You can see why they rate him if he's got that in his locker.
They've got a player down here, the home side, so they're going to try and get some treatment. I think it might be Luke Kroll who's injured. By the way, County have switched to a 4-3-3 now since making that change, so Dan Cowan's now playing as a more orthodox right back with Eddie Clark as a left back. The midfield 3 are Minihan, Keane and Maynard, with Thomas on the right, Lloyd on the left, McAlinden through the middle. So an interesting tweak to his formation there by Jim Gannon.
Yeah, I think he's realised that the back 4 are doing okay. You know, they're doing well. The clean sheet is all right. It's not nailed on, but they're dealing with more than they're letting through, County. But up top, they're not creating out anything that makes you think we're about to score, and that's why the tweak is needed. I think certainly in the middle of the park and then in the final third, because the creativity in the middle of the park isn't what it needs to be, and certainly up front the bite just isn't there.
It's a lengthy stoppage, this one, for the injury over on the far side. So quite sure who it is who's gone down. I'm just wondering, it's the debutant, isn't it? Is it Weston? Yeah, it is. It's Miles Weston who's gone down. He's back on his feet now.
The physio's just been signalling to the bench. I think he's going to be subbed.
He's walking over towards the opposite touchline with the physio. Well, they've got Chike Candy ready to come on. And indeed, it's a debut for Miles Weston that's lasted 3 minutes. And he's got injured and gone off again.
You don't like to see that for the lad, do you? But it's definitely going to be a spanner in the works of whatever Dagenham were planning.
Well, it is, because Candy is a striker. He's certainly not a left wing back. Very unlucky for Miles Weston. They're down to 10 for the time being. No sympathy from the county fans. Here's the change now.
Placing number 26, Miles Weston.
And here comes Chike Candy.
Jim Gannon's just been applauding his players, just saying keep focused. Keep focused on the game. There has been a lengthy break here. I think he likes the way they're staying switched on, though.
County on the ball, Sam Minihan. Keane stabs it forward. Minihan's there again. Thomas out to the wing for Keane. Keane wins the throw-in on that right-hand side, level with the edge of the Daggers penalty area.
Ben Jackson's warming up down in front. He's desperate to get on the pitch. He keeps looking at the manager, Jim Gannon, as if to say, I'm ready to go. And I think, do you know what? A bit of pace up there, it might not be the worst idea in the world.
Here's Minihan, though, with a chance to cross from the right towards the... Oh, it's come off the goalkeeper there. The shot coming in from Danny Lloyd, and again, he just can't get it past Elliot Justin.
Yeah, it's a good save, that. He's got down quickly. He could have really been caught out there, the goalkeeper, but he got his body behind it, dropped down onto the ball and smothered it at his near post, and Danny Lloyd did the right thing, but there was a good goalkeeper in the way.
A good cross, wasn't it, from Sam Minihan?
Very.
Kept it hard and low. A little snapshot with the right foot from Lloyd, trying to sneak it inside the near post. Justin was alert to the danger. There's Kroll, Robinson, Brundle. On the right is Eleftheriou, the former Watford man. His cross is hooked away brilliantly, acrobatically by Festus Arthur. And cleared by Eddie Clark for McAlinden to chase. Onorisa gets there first, turns it back to the goalkeeper. Bounced awkwardly, but he volleys it clear. Clark's onto it quickly. Couldn't keep it in play, though. Poor first touch from Eddie Clark. Jim Gannon's having a word with him.
I think he could sum up this game, couldn't he? I think the first half, you called him Steady Eddie. He looked really good. Winning balls, intercepting, good in the air. Second half, it's not gone his way, really.
Keane's glancing header, clearing his lines. He gets another go at it, volleys it forward this time. McAlinden rather jumped into the defender, Kenny Clark. That'll be a throw in to Dagenham and Redbridge. 78 minutes gone, 12 to play. In a largely forgettable second half of football, it remains Dagenham 0, Stockport County 0 here on Imagine, in association with mydigitalaccounts.com. And for all the passion, tempo, pace, energy, commitment and quality in the first half, all of those attributes have been missing from both teams in the second.
Yeah, the word forgettable is right. County, though, they've just got to make something count, but unfortunately I've not seen anything other than the shot from Danny Lloyd a moment ago that admittedly was created by Sam Minihan, who's just come on the pitch. There's nothing really to make you think they're getting back into this. They're creating an opportunity.
Adam Thomas lofting the ball forward now. This time they've sprung the offside trap. Lloyd, he'll collect the ball from a weak header. And down the right wing, he's been bundled over. And how on earth the referee and a linesman contrived to give a goal kick for the most blatant bundled barge you've seen from a defender? Kroll just smashed him to the ground there, Danny Lloyd, and the referee and linesman have given absolutely nothing.
That was a rugby tackle, wasn't it?
That's ridiculous. How on earth he can't give anything for that, I do not know. County back on the ball, halfway line with Clark. Oh, great feat from Eddie Clark. That's fantastic skill. Well, that had me applauding. Where did that come from? This time it is a foul. Ironic applause from Jim Gannon.
He's got to be careful doing that.
He's telling the referee he got one right at last. It's got the fans up though, hasn't it?
It has. And I tell you what, the manager has really come to life now, telling his players everything, where to go. You know, Jim Gannon, I don't know whether he enjoys having that role, but they listen to him when he gets up. And Eddie Clark, Danny Lloyd, Adam Thomas, Liam Mackett, they were all looking at the gaffer then. He's moving them around like chess pieces.
Oh, if you get to see the video, look out for that bit of skill, though, from Clark. On the 80th minute, here's the header from Festus Arthur over the top. Couldn't direct it goalwards, and it stays 0-0.
Yeah, not really made the most of that, County, but signs of life, I guess. You know, the shot from Danny Lloyd, then a few minutes later, a cross into the box, headed just over. Keep it coming, I guess, but they've got to start getting closer.
Well, County have had 3 shots on target in this game, all of them from the diminutive Danny Lloyd. Oh, it's a risky back pass from Cowan. It's a little bit short. Deering sprinting after it. Hinchliffe gets there to clear his lines. Maynard, good control on the halfway line. Adam Thomas, it's all a bit tight on this near touchline. 3 white shirts around him. He still manages to win the ball back, though. Festus Arthur can't keep it in play. Throw in to the Daggers on the halfway line on their right-hand side. Candy now just playing to the right of Ben House, and Deering's gone over to the left, almost matching up County's front 3 with their own. Clearance by Maynard. Keane now lofting it forward for McAlinden to chase. It'll hold up on this turf. Good defending again by Onorisa. Cleared down the line by Eleftheriou. Picks out Chika Candy. Chika Candy in possession, halfway line. Pirouettes away from Jordan Keane. Pings it out to Ben House, coming in off the right touchline. Gives it back to Candy. He couldn't quite return the favour. Oh, Festus Arthur's dwelling on the ball, though. County lucky to get away with that. It's cleared up to halfway. It's back with Elliot Justum now, the goalkeeper, away to our left. Still 0-0. 8 to play. Are we going to see a winning goal in this one? It could come now from Chika Candy. This shot from shot come cross from the left-hand side. Had House stretching for it. He couldn't quite get there. The flag's up anyway for offside against Ben House. It wouldn't have counted had he got there. As you say, a lot of offside decisions in this game. 0-0.
Yeah, first half, hardly anything in regards to sloppiness and laziness. Second half, both sides being caught offside, but it's tight. It's getting tight. You called it right there. It's getting tight in the midfield. It's these short, intricate passes that usually County are so good at, but on a pitch like this, they're just not able to find any kind of flow. But the pitch is, we're not going to use that as an excuse. County haven't been critical or lethal enough in front of goal this game.
Here's Maynard again prodding it through, but Kenny Clark's there to clear for the home side. Comes back to Maynard. He's dispossessed by Balanta, halfway line. Balanta finding Chika Candy on his right foot. Well, he saw his name in lights there and he's blazed it well wide of the target. It stays 0-0. 9 attempts this afternoon from the Daggers. 5 of those off target. County 4 attempts, 1 off target, 3 on target. But it remains goalless. There have been 3 previous meetings between these two sides. County have won it by 1-0. They needed a very late goal from substitute Niall Bell last time these two sides met back in November at Edgeley Park. And in fact, when Dagenham made their Football League debut in 2007, it was an 85th minute goal from Liam Dickinson that day that settled the tie. But here's Candy again, coming in off the right touchline. It's a good cross, far post, Minihan. Very good header away to deny House the opportunity. The danger's not passed yet, though. Cross from the left, Cowan to clear. And it's up to McAlinden. McAlinden dispossessed by Kenny Clark. He's got to be stronger there. County lose the ball. And it's Dagenham who could break with Eleftheriou. Down the right wing is Chika Candy. It's a good tackle from Clark to win it back for the Hatters. Eddie Clark to Festus Arthur. A complete miscue, though, from Ben Hinchliffe. Only reaches the edge of the area where the cool as you like skipper, Ash Palmer, heads it back to him.
They've got away with one there.
Did they do that deliberately? They did that in training. I've seen it. There's something they work on.
Festus Arthur knows better to go back to his goalkeeper there. Ben Hinchliffe should know better than to try and clear it first time.
Especially on this pitch.
Yeah, it terrifies the life out of you every time they go for the first time clearance. He wasn't under immediate pressure. Granted, he had to get it out quickly, but there was time for a touch there, and thankfully Ash Palmer just handled the situation in the end, but it was a situation that should never really have been there.
5 to play, 0-0. It's been a dreadful second half after a pulsating first, but the game has never ever sprung back to life since the restart, despite the efforts of both managers who've made double changes midway through the half, and there's going to be another change for the Hatters as Ben Jackson is ready to come on now. Well, you talked about him earlier, Chris.
Yeah, well, pace is the key with Ben Jackson, isn't it? If we're honest, he doesn't have a great end product, but if we can just get him behind, I suspect it'll be for Danny Lloyd. If we can just get him behind them and whip crosses into the box, then maybe that'll be what we need. We've not done that. For all Danny's skill and determination and running, we've not seen any meaningful crosses come from him yet, and hopefully Ben Jackson will be able to deliver that.
Well, it's not going to be Danny Lloyd, I don't think, as the board is held up here to show Eddie Clark. Straight swap?
Yeah.
I suppose it gives you that balance, doesn't it?
Yeah, I still think he has the ability from that position on the left side, Ben, to use his pace, get down. If anything, you can say to Danny, go more central then. Just get in the area and I'll get the ball into you.
Jackson on a season-long loan from Huddersfield's under-19s. So the teenager is on to replace Eddie Clark. Clark himself, who's on loan from Fleetwood. Jackson's first touch is a good one as he smashes it upfield for Lloyd to chase. Kenny Clark heads it clear. Brundle finds Robinson. Great tackle from Adam Thomas again. Been a very typical hard-working performance from Adam Thomas, even in the less stylish surroundings of this second half. He's dug in. Got his hands dirty again today. Miss Kroll on the left side for Dagenham, playing it forward. That wasn't the worst ball you'll see. But Balanta unable to control it. Might get a second go at it though, down that left touchline. Minihan though shepherds it out. Throw into County, 3 to play. Still 0-0 on Imagine, in association with mydigitalaccounts.com. Luke Garrard, the Boreham Wood manager, sitting just in front of us. I'm not sure what he'll have learnt from this second half. I'm sure he learnt more from the first. Header away by Ash Palmer, helped on by Sam Minihan. Brave from Adam Thomas again. Hooked forward by McAlinden. Danny Lloyd's quick, but on Arisa, one thing he's got as a centre-half is pace, and if you've got that, you've always give yourself a chance to get out of trouble, and he's done exactly that. Danny Lloyd still twisting and turning though. Has he got in behind? He has, and he's inside the box trying to pull it back from the dead ball line. It'll come now to Maynard, who misses it. Oh, Jackson shot headed off the line by Kenny Clark. He has saved Dagenham and Redbridge here. That was arrowing to the top corner. Kenny Clark with the header. Flicks it over the bar. How on earth did he keep that out?
Wow, McAlinden missed his kick. I thought that was the chance gone. It's fallen so nicely to Ben Jackson, who's done everything right. Got his head over it, struck it true. It's rising straight into that top corner. It's beat the keeper, and then from nowhere, a clearance off the line. What a touch. But County can still make it count. They've got a corner.
County corner, which Danny Lloyd will take, having to come off that behind the corner flag. Oh, he's done well to deliver that one to Maynard. His header blocked in the box by Clark again. Minihan plays it back out towards Lloyd on that right flank. Lloyd, he's done well to hold off the defender, and finds Jackson again. Another marauding run from Ben Jackson down the left-hand side. Chika Candy's gone with him though, wins the ball and finds Eleftheriou clears down the touchline. Maynard at full stretch, prods it back where it came from. Jackson trying to find Adam Thomas. Brave again from Jackson. Into the path of McAlinden, who tries to pull it back for Danny Lloyd. It might come for Jordan Keane from distance. He takes a touch inside the box. Yes! It's in from McAlinden at the far post. The substitute comes good. The shot from Keane across the face of goal, and McAlinden was there to turn it in. Would you believe it? In this fixture again, it's a late winner from Stockport County. 1-0 they lead.
Let me tell you who deserves all the credit in the world for that is Lois Maynard. He dropped back into the left-back position. John, we spoke in the first half about him sniffing danger, sensing it. Ben Jackson made a great run, just overhit the ball, and all of a sudden he was out of position. Who was there to win it back? Lois Maynard. Recycle possession. What play then for it to come down in the middle. And I tell you what, a guy who needed a touch like that, Liam McAlinden, what a finish. He's just right place, right time, exactly what you need from a striker at this stage of the game. And County have potentially just taken a very, very much needed win.
Well, it's been a long-awaited goal, hasn't it? 8 hours we've waited for that, but it's probably well worth it if it takes those 3 points back up the M6 to Stockport. Keane's shot across the face of goal. Jim Gannon's involved in an altercation with some of the fans behind him as the board goes up to show 4 added minutes. Well, this fixture's got a habit of producing late goals, and it might produce another one here as Lloyd sends McAlinden through. His shot on target, but a comfortable save this time by the goalkeeper.
Well, would you believe it, County in the familiar territory? I have to say, in the live league table, we're not there yet.
Here's maybe a chance for Balanta on the opposite end of the pitch. Good block by Ben Hinchliffe. Sends the ball out towards the right touchline. Here's Eleftheriou to Deering. Dagenham heading for their first defeat of the year. And a County heading for their first win as again the offside flag comes to County's rescue. It's Dagenham 0, Stockport County 1 here on Imagine in association with mydigitalaccounts.com.
Liam McAlinden really should be doing better there. I've decided against saying where we are in the live league table because I nearly cursed it there, and I can't have that on my conscience. It's look at the jubilation in those fans at the minute.
Jim Gannon, by the way, still very angry about some words that have been said.
I don't think there's any
from behind him. He's absolutely furious about something that's been said.
They have to be Dagenham fans there, don't they?
Oh, they are, yeah.
County, though.
And Hatters on the front foot again. Adam Thomas inside the box finds Lloyd. Oh, what a save from Justin to keep that out. He's been in terrific form this afternoon, but it could end up on the losing side.
Well, the centre-half's just been given man of the match. I think they should be giving it to the goalkeeper. He's made a couple of really, really good saves today, and that's one of them. This is probably County's last chance of the game, John. If they can get a second here, wrap it up, those fans are going to be in ecstasy all the way home.
Well, it's been such a forgettable half, but goodness me, it's come to light in the last seconds. The corner from Thomas straight into the arms of the goalkeeper. Elliot Justum again. Oh, was he caught there by Festus Arthur as he cleared the ball? He still finds Deering on the right. Deering now to run at Jackson. And Lloyd, his cross takes a deflection off Lloyd, and it's headed goalwards by Ben House. It was on target, but it was a comfortable save for the County keeper. Could that be Dagenham's last chance to salvage a point from this game? And are the Hatters collecting their first 3 of the new year? It's been a long wait for a victory since the turn of 2020. But the vision of McAlinden at the far post just gambled on that shot from Jordan Keane, missing the target, and turned it in via the upright, and the County fans in ecstasy away to our left-hand side.
I'm sure our microphones are picking up the noise that they are making.
They're hammering the advertising boards, the stewards trying to keep them off them, but it's a forlorn task. 1-0, County lead.
It's just so, it more than anything, yes, there's jubilation, ecstasy, call it what you like. Relief is the word, and it will be even more so if we can just have one more whistle from the referee before Dagenham can create any more chances.
Well, we're in the final 30 seconds of the added 4 minutes. Minihan heads the ball forwards, but it's collected by Brundle. Plays it out to Deering, looking for Candy. Great first touch from Chika Candy, who's taking on Festus Arthur. Jackson's trying to help out as well, but it's still Candy. Candy pulls it back to the edge of the County penalty area. Everyone back defending for the Hatters here when Deering crosses. Danger here for the Hatters on the far post. It's a scramble and it's turned in. Turned in on the far post by Brundle. Brundle smashes it in, and the Hatters denied the victory. They never really looked in control of the situation, and it was a very good finish at the far post, smashed into the top corner. And once again, this fixture's produced another late goal, and it's an equaliser for Dagenham and Redbridge. It'll be one they feel they deserve. It's one apiece.
Dagenham and Redbridge goalkeeper, by the way, has just been goading all the stuff, but he's still doing it, having a right word with them, with the County fans. But
it's Candy who's been credited with the goal.
What a body blow for County.
Well, another twist in the tail. By our watch, we were past the 4th minute, but it is a minimum of 4 added minutes. And you're not singing anymore as the final whistle goes. Dagenham will feel they deserved something from the game. They've salvaged a point when it looked like Liam McAlinden had grabbed a late winner for Stockport County. It was substitute Chike Candy at the other end who popped up to level the matters in the dying seconds of the game. It was a terrific first half. Danny Lloyd with a couple of chances, but he was denied by the excellent goalkeeping of Elliot Justin. Into the second half, and it was a fairly drab affair until the last couple of minutes when it really came to light. Substitute Ben Jackson saw his 20-yard drive headed over the bar by skipper Kenny Clark, but a minute later, after the corner was recycled by the Hatters from the left-hand side, Jordan Keane's shot across the face of goal was turned in at the far post by Liam McAlinden for his first goal in county colours, and it looked as though the Hatters were going to head back to the northwest with all 3 points in the bag. There was another vital save from the goalkeeper Justin to keep out Danny Lloyd in stoppage time. It was a wonder save as he palmed it away, and it proved to be a valuable save as well, as Dagenham went to the other end and Chike Candy, the substitute, smashed the ball into the top corner, leaving County no chance to recover once again. One apiece in the end, but I think Dagenham will feel they deserve a point from this today.
They probably will, but County had the opportunity really when 1-0 up. Liam McAlinden's through on goal, 1-on-1. It's a very, very tame effort. He had the opportunity to put the game to bed, really, and then County came again, and as you say, John, a very, very good save to keep it at 1-0. But the cookie has crumbled, the final whistle has gone, and it's finished here, 1 apiece. Stockport County, they've got to wait another game for a win.
It all comes down to this.
Stockport County Live on Imagine Radio with mydigitalaccounts.com, the smart accountant for the digital age, specialising in online accounts and tax returns. Call us today on 0161 925 6162 for a friendly chat about your accounting needs, or visit at mydigitalaccounts.com. Stockport County Live on Imagine Radio with mydigitalaccounts.com, the smart accountant for the digital age, specialising in online accounts and tax returns. Call us today on 0161 925 6162 for a friendly chat about your accounting needs, or visit at mydigitalaccounts.com.
Well, welcome back to Dagenham and Redbridge, where it's finished here. Stockport County 1, Dagenham and Redbridge 1. Just very quickly go through the other scores in the division. Chesterfield 3, Wrexham 2 is an early finish. Bromley 2, Solihull Moors 2, and Hartlepool 2, Aldershot 0. I've got to say, there's some scenes going on down in front of us. The police have been called into. Some Stockport County fans have been involved with what looked like the Dagenham and Redbridge goalkeeper, who was goading them.
Scuffles in there with the police and stewards now.
Big time, yeah, but there's a lot going on there down in front of us. I can't see. We have a little bit far away from us to see exactly what's going on, John, but there's certainly something. It looks to be calming down now, but it was when the players were walking through the tunnel, the fans were grabbing hold of the tunnel and shaking it.
But you were saying about the goalkeeper.
Yeah, well, when Dagenham got their equaliser, quite stupidly, really, the goalkeeper's turned round and he's giving it the big one to the county fans cheering. And listen, I'm sure he has got dog's abuse when County have gone 1-0 up, but that's how fans at football react. As a player, he should be knowing better. But listen, I don't want to say too much without knowing the full facts, but it's calmed down now either way. Let's talk about what really matters, and that's what's on the pitch. County, John, they failed to hold on to a lead for 5 minutes.
You've got to be able to hold on. If you score a goal in the 89th minute to put yourself 1-0 up, you've got to be able to hold on, and it's disappointing they didn't. But mentioning the goalkeeper, but for that save, it would have been 2-0 just a couple of minutes later. It's a wonder save to deny Danny Lloyd. Absolutely terrific from Elliot Justin, and that gave him the platform to go at the other end and grab the equaliser. It was a dreadful second half. I mean, let's be honest, it was an awful game in the second half, but it just burst into life, didn't it, in the latter stages? And I think it's one apiece is probably a fair result, although we had some golden opportunities late on to put the game beyond them. I mean, the chance for Danny Lloyd, there was a chance as well for Liam McAlinden to grab his second, but it was a poor attempt at the end as well. So, and then we saw Ben Jackson as well just before we'd taken the lead with that drive from the edge of the box that Kenny Clark, the skipper, somehow put his head in the way and nodded it over the crossbar. So County with plenty of chances in those last 2 or 3 minutes to maybe make the game potentially safe, but it wasn't to be, and Cheeky Candy popped up at the other end and got the leveller.
County now 3 points outside the playoffs, but you can't not look at the fact that every team above them, with the exception of Bromley, have got games in hand, in some cases 2, Notts County, and Burham would have got 2 games in hand over County. They needed a win today, really. I mean, it's not season over yet, but it gets harder week by week.
It does, and we're losing ground all the time, and it's unfortunate. When you're in that position, you've got a lead like that, with just literally seconds left on the clock. You've got to be able to see the game out, and we were a bit naive in that sense at both ends. We should have made the game safe. We had chances to do that, to make it 2-0. Didn't take them, and then as we say, we were naive at the other end. Cheeky Candy, he's had all the time in the world really to pick his spot, and it was an unfortunate way to finish, but look, it's a good point away from home against a side that's in form as it stands, and that's the first goal they've conceded in a long time, so we can be justly proud, I think, of a good performance today.
Is it an improvement on recent weeks? Massive,
yeah. I mean, what an improvement on the Dover game, for one, and just the fact we created so many chances, albeit late on in the game. We struggled, I think, although we matched Dagenham in the first half and had a lot of the ball and looked pretty in the approach play, didn't actually create that many goal scoring opportunities. Then the second half, when it got a bit scruffy and a bit messy and a bit ground down in the middle of the park, we actually did that quite well. I thought we dug out and put in a good shift in that second half as well, and then late on, when there were tired legs, we started to stretch Dagenham a little bit more, created a few more chances, and but I keep coming back to it, that save that Elliot Justin made to keep out Danny Lloyd in injury time just before they scored the equaliser, that's the save of the season as far as they're concerned, because it means that keeps their unbeaten run going, and it gave them that platform to go to the other end and score.
New man Lewis Maynard, good first impression, possibly County's best player today. Your thoughts on him?
I thought he played really well. I thought he had a little bit of everything. When the game was all about quality and creating opportunities in the first half, I thought he looked pretty at times. He was able, to control the game. He passed it around. One or two of the journalists here in the press box at half-time saying he's running the game. And he did. He looked very composed. Second half, it was a different affair, and it got a bit messy and a bit. The tackles were going in, and it wasn't quite as pretty to watch, and the pitch was getting chopped up. But I thought he coped with that quite well as well. So although he wasn't as standout perhaps in the second half when it was a bit more messy, but as debuts go, yeah, probably as good as you like to see from a holding midfield player who's clearly got a lot to offer.
If you're manager Jim Gannon now and you're in there with your players, is it the hairdryer treatment for not holding on? Are you patting on the back for carrying on going and getting the goal and somehow breaking down a very tough, very resilient Dagenham Redbridge side? Are you not saying anything, letting the players manage it amongst themselves? How do you possibly communicate a message to a team after a game like this?
Well, I don't know how you explain the last 3 minutes or so of that one. I mean, there isn't any real sort of logic behind it. The opening goal is a goal out of nothing. It's a shot from Jordan Keane that's going wide, and Liam just reacts so quickly and turns it in at the far post, and you think, that's it, that's got to be the winner. But even after that, there were more chances to go on and get more goals. So I think he'll be irritated that we didn't finish it off, and he'll certainly be disappointed with the goal that we really gifted to Dagenham in the last minute of stoppage time. And when you equalise as late as that, there's no way back.
Do you see many changes in the team for the next game?
No, I really don't. I think we'll have a little look at the way the opposition shape up, but I think in terms of personnel, I think he's got it right today. Without Paul Turnbull, it was obvious that Lois Maynard was going to start. I think Niall deserved his chance as well. So I think he'll be relatively pleased with the 11 that went out, and he'll be pleased with the performance they put in. There's not a lot wrong, really. It's just, that little bit of naivety there, and perhaps I think, it's come down this hour left, hasn't it? The dagger's right, the goal. And I think Ben Jackson had still, he'd been involved in the goal, he'd been involved in that shot that was headed over the bar, he'd been involved in a lot of things in the final third, and I think when it came back to defending, he just looked a little bit rattled when Candy was running at him.
Would it be fair to say a draw here is a respectable result? It's a respectable point. However, given that we've not had a win now in a fairly long time, given that it was almost a last second equaliser, and given that Dagenham are down the bottom of the table, albeit not in the form table,